car breakingest, driver wearing out his track on the whole NASCAR circuit. Well, today, Miles the Monster is taking a swim. But before you go channel surfing off to some other station, we've got lots of news for you from the Busch Grand National Circuit and the Winston Cup Wars, which continue here tomorrow. And NASCAR officials feel we will get this race in this afternoon. But for now, the most precious commodity along pit road is not a fresh set of tires. It's an umbrella. Welcome to Dover Downs for TNN's coverage. Splitfire Sparkplug 200, the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Joy. It's a little damp here along the eastern seaboard. There is a pocket of rain that looks about 2 hours wide, we are told, if it keeps moving out toward the Atlantic Ocean and in its present direction. Here's a look at the NASCAR weather radar, what they're looking at, and they've been tracking this storm since fairly early this morning. Right in the center of the picture is Dover Downs, and you see that big cloud formation to the west, the clouded storm formation from about Washington, D.C. on east here to the Speedway, and hopefully that is going out to sea. 67 degrees right now, all the humidity you could ask for. A little bit of wind out of the north that's going to push this a little further south, and the forecast is for light rain on and off the rest of the day. Started raining here just about 1 hour ago, stopped about 10 minutes ago, started up again. It's going to be that kind of day. Very low cloud cover and not much to do but kind of sit around and wait it out. That's what everybody's been doing, including Neil Bonnet.
One of the best things we've got going for us in motorsports are the fans. The crews and the drivers and the mechanics, they have to stay here and wait for this rain to be over. These grandstands were full about 30 minutes ago. It started this rain. As you can see, these people, they don't give up. They sit there no matter how wet it gets. That's unreserved seating. They're not going to give up that seat they got about 7 o'clock this morning. They got to stick it out and see what happens. Fellas, it looks like we got to do the same thing.
Okay, Neil, why don't you head for a little bit higher, drier ground. Buddy Baker's already up in the broadcast booth getting set to do today's show. Let's see where Glenn Jarrett is.
Well, Mike, I'm down in the NASCAR trailer right now, standing by with the competition director for the Busch Series. This is Ray Hill. And Ray, the only time I ever get to talk to you is when we have a weather problem. Last time I was in Atlanta, we had all that snow, and I guess Ray wanted to be on TV again. He called some rain today. But seriously, what's it looking like right now?
Well, we're kind of sitting here in the situation that the weather's kind of bogged down right over the top of us at the moment. We're hoping to move out. We're optimistic about getting the race in. It's about a 25-mile spread here to our left back inland, and if it'll start to move in at all, we should be able to get this race in today without any problem.
Well, how long can we wait? In other words, how late in the afternoon can we wait before we can start this race if the weather pushes us that far?
We could get started by 5 o'clock and get the race in plenty of time. It's probably an hour and 45-minute race, and we'd have plenty of time to get it in if we can get started by 5, but we hope to get started before then. We're real optimistic about getting started here in the next hour or so.
Well, we're also optimistic. We hope we can get it before 5 o'clock. That makes a long day for us. Now my buddy Randy Pemberton is standing by with the fastest qualifying duck, Terry Labonte.
Well, actually, Terry swam away for just a moment or two. He was over here for just a second, but he got pushed aside a little bit. We'll get back to Terry in just a minute. Of course, Terry, of course, runs so well in so many Busch Grand National races this season, but he has yet to get the victory lane. We'll talk to him in just a second.
Randy, the track here at Dover Downs will dry pretty quickly. The turns here are banked 24 degrees. The straightaways are banked 9 degrees. Pit road will be the toughest area to dry here once this shower ends. Let's show you how they will start the Splitfire 200 later this afternoon. Terry Labonte, first Busch Series pole since June '91, and Joe Nemechek, first time he's ever been on the front row at Dover. In row 2, Ricky Craven is 6th in the points, and Harry Gant, a 2-time winner of this race. Larry Pearson has 3 second-place finishes here, and David Green is 2nd in the point standings. That's row number 3. Back in row number 4, we'll see Tommy Houston, who equals his best start of the '93 season, and Tracy Leslie, the Indy winner in July. Row 5, Phil Parsons has a second-place finish here in '89, and Bobby Dotter has some good news for next season today. In row number 6, Robert Presley, twice a winner here, and Steve Grissom, who is the point leader. Row number 7, Tom Peck has 6 top 10 finishes at Dover, and Tim Fido is second in the rookie points. Back in row number 8, Ward Burton with 2 short track wins this year, and Jack Sprague makes his 3rd Dover start. Jimmy Spencer was 4th here a year ago. Joe Bessie 8th last week at Richmond. They're in row 9. In row 10, Richard Lassiter has a top 10 finish this year, and Mike Wallace. In row number 11, Rick Wilson, who won here at Dover in 1989, and Todd Bodine, who won here in June of this year. Row number 12, Rodney Combs has 3 top 10s this year, and Chuck Bown is 5th in the point standings as the 1990 series champion. Jeff Burton, who scored a win up at Myrtle Beach in the month of June, and Nathan Butke, the 18-year-old rookie from North Carolina. Bobby Hamilton, former Busch Series winner at Richmond, and Roy Payne, the rookie from Texas. Row number 15, Shauna Robinson, the lady driver from Des Moines, Iowa, and Randy McDonald from Canada. Row number 16, Hermie Sadler, the top rookie, 8th overall in the points, and Steve Perry makes his first start. He's from Texas. And in the 17th row, Pat Davison, local driver, and Larry Carroll, also from Delaware, making his 2nd start at Dover Downs. Well, the rain has picked up as Randy Pemberton found higher ground. Randy?
Well, Terry Labonte has walked over to us. Terry, a little disappointing, though, when it rains like this?
Well, it's disappointing for everybody, I guess, the fans and everybody. You know, everybody's here to watch the race, and now it's delayed a little bit, but that's the way it goes. Hopefully it'll quit here in a little bit, and we'll get going.
I know you got to be anxious. That Busch car of yours has run really, really well. You've had some great finishes this year, and now a pole.
I know it. We've really run good in it all year long, and I'll tell you what, our MW Windows Chevy is. It ran really great here. We unloaded off the truck, and it was awful fast. And, you know, we won the pole, so I was really happy with that. We haven't got to practice that much because of the weather, so I know the car's fast for a little while. I hope it's fast in long runs, too.
Can it be a totally different chassis combination to make it run for 30, 40 laps?
It can, but I really think we've pretty much got a race set up, you know, under it when we qualified. And, you know, I don't really think the rain's going to have much effect on the racetrack.
Okay, good luck today. Mike Joy?
Thanks, Randy. Terry Labonte on the pole today. Light showers throughout the afternoon. I mean, nobody's out there in the parking lot building an arc or anything, but it is wet right now here at Dover Downs. Stay with us. Live exclusive coverage of the Splitfire Spark Plug 200 is brought to you by BF Goodrich TA Tires. When you're ready to get serious. By Splitfire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it. By Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. By Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley's been helping people do things right. And by Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in until you take them out. Welcome back to Dover Downs. Well, the track is damp, and so is the grandstands, and so are we up here on the roof. But, folks, spirits are not. It's been a great season so far of Busch Series racing. And you've seen most of it right here on TNN, the network that brings you more Busch Series racing than everybody else combined. And we will be bringing you this show today as soon as this stops. Glenn?
Well, I'm standing in here with Steve Grissom. He's taking a little time to out in the rain here to sign some autographs with some fans that have backed up behind us here. And Steve, you find yourself atop the point standings here at this point in the season, but that's not something that you've really been striving for.
That's true. I tell you, when we started this year out, it wasn't, you know, something that we said we had to win the championship or something. Our whole deal's been is to run consistent and try to win as many races as possible. And to this point of the season, so far, these guys have done a super job with the car, and you know, that's why we're sitting where we are.
Well, even though you weren't, say, chasing points or chasing a title at the beginning of the season, now that you've gotten yourself into this position, are you looking to protect that lead, or are you just going on with that same strategy of just trying to win races?
Right now, it's still a little bit early, you know, to kind of get in that kind of mode. It's still, we're here to win races. It's just like we were talking this morning about what gear to run, and we put the gear in the car what we thought was going to win the race instead of the gear that, you know, for a finish. So, you know, that's the attitude these boys have on the team, and that's the way we're looking.
Well, when you say we, this is a family involvement or a family deal with you. Your brother-in-law, Brian Frazier, is your crew chief. Your dad owns the team, you and your dad. Of course, your wife is very supportive. Whole family kicks in, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. You know, I tell you, it's a pretty good deal to be here at the racetrack with your family. And Susan and Kyle, they get to go to a lot of races with us. And, you know, it's just something we worked awful hard for. And you put a lot of hours in it and a lot of money. And, you know, it's finally got us to the position where everybody wants to be.
Well, we wish you luck in today's race. You're starting a little higher than normal. You got a 12th starting position. You usually start back in the pack, so maybe that's a good omen for you. Good luck in today's race. And now let's go down to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Bobby Dotter is going to be starting 10th in today's race, and he's had some great finishes of late, and actually some good news after those great finishes of late coming here to Dover.
Yeah, everything's just been going so good for us the last month. We made a lot of changes internally, and the DeWalt high-performance car has been running great. I mean, we've had some career bests. We qualified 10th for the race today, and I mean, that's the best we've ever run here. And then yesterday afternoon, we found out that our sponsor is going to do all the races for the rest of this year, and then DeWalt's coming back for a full schedule next year. So we believe that that really can make us into a top contender.
What kind of a relief does that give you? I mean, a guy is struggling, this is what you want to do, and you put everything you have into it, and then finally the sponsor locks on for you. I know that's got to be a great relief.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, DeWalt, they're just a great bunch of people. They've really jumped behind it. Not knowing for sure if they were going to do next year, if they were going to do a limited schedule, they've done a lot of marketing to help Bobby Dotter advance his career along with Cell Tools. So, I mean, it's just great.
Okay. Thank you, Bobby. Mike?
Well, now, I know Neil Bonnis moved down to the 17 Winston Cup garage, but I'm not sure if he's with Darrell Waltrip, the driver, or his alter ego, DW, the car owner.
Well, Darrell, we're supposed to be doing a bush race right now, and this nice little rain came in here, so we'll talk about the Winston Cup race tomorrow. Rolling into Dover, you've had some good runs up here. How's the car going?
Car is great, Neil. As fastest car here as far as I can tell in practice this afternoon, and looking forward to the race. And everybody's talking about raining and damp spirits, and we're getting ready to have a what do you call those, karaoke shows. We're going to have a karaoke show here in just a little bit. You know, we're going to let the back door down, and we're going to bring the mic out, and got a little T. Graham Brown and some Vern Gosden we're going to put on here in just a little bit. And what are we doing in Dover anyway?
Well, we came up here to race, but it sounds like you're going to sing for us the rest of the day.
Just want to have a good time, you know. We just, in all honesty, we have struggled so long and so hard this whole season that I told the guys a couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, look, we're just taking this entirely too serious. Let's regroup. Let's go out and have some fun. And if we can run up front and win a race, that's what we want to do. That's what our mission is. But we've beat ourselves up so badly all summer long. And I just told them, we had a big meeting, and I said, look, we can go out and we can run up front like I know we can, and we can enjoy ourselves. And ever since Darlington, we went to Richmond, and we're going to run good here this weekend. We went to Martinsville and tested, and he's back.
Well, you said you're going to have some fun. Now, just a while ago, you said you were the fastest in clocking. Was that with your watch or somebody else's?
That was my car with my watch, Bab. Can't call my watch. We got a good car here if we can. I'll tell you right now.
I tell you what, best thing we do is go to Mike Joy and let me get out of this deal.
Mike Joy, don't let Mike go right here.
Well, he got to interview both of them. May not be Friday night at Fitzgerald's in Southern Pines, but I see Buddy Baker headed down there to be first in line for karaoke down at Waltrip's truck. A lot of changes in Winston Cup racing over just the past couple of weeks. We'll run down the lineup for tomorrow's Splitfire Spark Plug at 500. Rusty Wallace is on the pole, and Ernie Irvin in the Robert Yates number 28 Ford will start alongside. Third pole of the year for Rusty Wallace. He also has 6 wins. Rookie Jeff Gordon shares the second row with Jeff Bodine, and that's right, Jeff is now in the Alan Kawicki Racing number 7 now and for the rest of the year. Mark Martin will line up 5th. Rick Wilson gets the 6th spot in the Pontiac. Morgan Shepherd will be 7th, and Harry Gant lines up 8th. Back in row number 5, there's Dale Earnhardt starting 9th. Kenny Schrader alongside in 10th. Row number 11, Bobby Labonte, another good qualifying run. He's lined up with Rick Mast. In row 7, there's Bill Elliott, Derek Cope, a pair of Fords. In the 8th row, Kyle Petty will start alongside Hut Strickland, a Pontiac and a Ford. Darrell Waltrip posted 17th fastest time for car 17, Sterling Marlin in a Ford right next to him. Then it's Jimmy Spencer in the Bobby Allison car and Phil Parsons in the Mannheim Chevy. Fastest second-round qualifier earlier today was Ted Musgrave, Ricky Rudd. Just a tick of the watch slower. They'll share row 11. And Brett Bodine crashed yesterday in practice, broke his wrist. Dick Trickle is in the Quaker State car. He qualified it this afternoon. Mike Waltrip right next to him in row 12. Lake Speed goes into the Motorcraft Ford of Bud Moore, replacing Jeff Bodine. Dale Jarrett there in the 13th row. In row 14, Terry Labonte and Todd Bodine in the Butch Mock car. In row 15, there's Greg Sachs and Jimmy Horton. In the 16th row, Dave Marcus from Wisconsin, Bobby Hillen from Texas. Row 17, Wally Dallenbach and Bob Schacht, the ARCA racer, both in Fords. Jeff Purvis in the Morgan McClure Chevy, and Kenny Wallace in the Pontiac, and the sole provisional starter will be Jimmy Means driving his own Ford Thunderbird. That's the way they will line up tomorrow, as the rain, you may be able to see there, picks up just a little bit more here at Dover Downs. But lots more to come, so stay with us here live on TNN. What is something about idle moments or the devil's plaything? I don't know the quote, but let me show you what happened there. The Staff America racing truck of Jack Sprague, that team had a little trouble getting through NASCAR inspection. Something about the car being a little bit too wide, and the inspector who looked at it was Pete Babb. There's their truck, and up there on the lift, that is Pete Babb's personal car that he drove to the racetrack today. The NASCAR inspector, somehow, that team got the keys and got the car and put it up there where Pete can't get to it, can't go home, can't get out of the rain. Sorry, Pete. Here's Randy.
Ricky Craven standing by here. Still raining down here a little bit. Ricky, are you disappointed? Do you hate it when it does this?
We've been through it so much. How can we be? But what is it with Dover and Ricky Craven, DuPont, TNN? It's like it's a given that it's going to rain when we get together, huh?
Hey, I'll tell you, you've had some great runs in that car this year. Just can't quite get over the hump, grab you a top 5 a lot, or maybe a victory, but you guys are working on it.
We're working hard, but I think I've made some adjustments in my plans to correct that, and we're going to have our own program next year. And I'm real proud of these guys. I'm pretty thankful to John Jackson, Bill Papke for giving me the opportunity, and I really desperately want to win one for me and for them before this deal's over, but got a lot to look forward to.
A lot of people talk about, you know, they want to become a race car driver and all that. The amount of sacrifice that you have to have. You've moved all the way from New England, your entire family down here. I mean, it takes a lot of sacrifice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. To begin with, you got to stand in the rain a lot, but beyond that, you know, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication, and I've raced stock cars for 13 years, and that amazes a lot of people because I don't appear to be that old, but that's where I come from.
Okay, good luck today. Glenn?
Well, thanks, Randy. I'm standing down here in Burtonville, and the guy to my immediate right here is Ward Burton, the older brother. Outside of him is Jeff Burton, the younger brother. Ward has 2 wins this year. Jeff has 1. Ward told me he was smarter, but Jeff's the better driver. Is that right?
Well, it might be the case. What do you think, Jeff?
I don't think either one of us are real smart, but I think that kind of runs in our family. I don't know. We're having fun anyway. I guess we're doing what we love to do and make money doing it, so we've got to be somewhat smart anyway.
Well, that's a lot of fun, but both of you have been struggling just a little bit lately. I'll start with Ward first. Things have gotten really frustrating for you lately, Ward.
Well, we started the season off. We had a few problems the first 4 or 5 races. Then we went to a real hot streak, and now we've gotten kind of back where we started the last 5 or 6 races. But my Hardy's team is working hard together, and we'll turn it around. You know, racing comes in spurts, and this is just not a real pleasurable spurt, but heck, we'll get it better. And we've had some super race cars, and we've just gotten in a few mishaps last couple of weeks. We'll turn it around.
All right, what about you, Jeff? Fortune hasn't smiled on you too much lately either. I know you're looking to turn things around.
No, I felt like I felt all year like it's raining right now. I felt terrible, and the last half of this year has been just not even worth remembering at all. We blew up in the last 5 races, and that's really been hard to handle. But right now we're working with Jack Roush. He's doing all of our engines, and that ought to be a good deal for us. He sure gives Mark Martin some good engines. So we're excited about the rest of the year, and hopefully we'll put a few wins together. Ward and I both need to win another race. We need some food on the table. It's getting kind of short at home.
Okay, well, best of luck to you guys, and maybe things will turn around for both of you here today. Mike?
Thanks, Glenn. TNN continues coverage of the 200 this afternoon, and don't forget, tomorrow we'll bring you all the action of the Splitfire Spark Plug 500 Winston Cup race live. We're not leaving Dover Downs, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Dover Downs. A little wet. You can see this guy here is taking advantage of this wet weather. He's going to take a little nap. The guys in the back are waiting for him to go to sleep so they can pour water on him. We're going to go to the Haviland update right now with Mike Joy.
Last Friday night at Richmond, Chuck Bound at 63 and Joe Nemechek were the front row starters, though neither finished in the top 5. Todd Bodine had a scary moment here, but made a great save as Ricky Craven goes by. Here's the view Mark Martin had of the field most of the evening. Randy LaJoie is trying to chase down the leader, but LaJoie's chances of winning went away with this flat tire. Next, Tracy Leslie in 72 tried to run down Martin, and Leslie finished second. Also having a good run was Hermie Sadler. The rookie equaled his best finish of the year, 3rd. But the night belonged to Mark Martin, who has won every Busch race he's finished this season. 2nd win in a row, 5th of the year. Coming to Dover, the points look like this. Steve Grissom still out in front. David Green, Joe Nemechek, Robert Presley, and Chuck Bound, the top 5. Then Ricky Craven, Bobby Dotter, rookie Hermie Sadler, Ward Burton, and Todd Bodine. That's your top 10.
Well, you're looking at the Pontiac pace car. Yes, windshield wipers, air conditioning, everything. Sitting inside, Elmo Langley. Let's stop on the door, see what Elmo's doing. A lot of people have heard the name Elmo Langley. You see in the car. Elmo, we've been talking to the drivers about getting, not being able to get the green flag here. What do you do when it rains like this? Kind of hang out, listen to the radio, or do you have to listen to the NASCAR radio?
Well, NASCAR radio and sometimes the other one. Right now, everything's staged with the records and the tires and everything. As soon as this rain lets up somewhat, we can go to drying the racetrack, and that's what I'm waiting on right now.
Well, you got a lot of work last week, caution flags. You're out there a lot. Do you like it when you're out there a lot, or do you like to just sit by and watch them go?
No, I'd rather get out there once in a while. It keeps you awake. It's hard to stay awake when nothing's happening.
How's the car handling?
Very good, very good.
Okay, Glenn?
Well, thanks. We just got Joe Nemechek out of the trailer. He was grabbing a quick snack. Got your mouth clean now, Joe? You talk to us? Okay. Just kidding. Joe, you've run awfully well lately. You qualified on the outside pole here. You've got a real good race car. Is this the same car that's been running so well for you?
Same car. It started its year off having a pole up there at New Hampshire, and we've been running it ever since. So had a lot of second place finishes. Outside pole a couple times last couple weeks, and the Dentine Chevrolet's running good. I'm glad to be back here at Dover. We changed one shock since we unloaded it, so that means it's pretty close.
Well, you got to feel confident that even though you haven't had a win so far this year, that it's got to be coming. It's imminent. It's going to happen any week now.
Well, I think so. You know, they say you have to first get to that point, be in the front every week, and once you're in the front, then you can win some races. So we're in the front. We just have to get that little bit extra luck, and I think luck has played a big part. You know, we went for 8 or 10 races with no luck, and we crashed, blew up motors, anything that could happen happened, and now we got a little bit of that luck, and we're running back in the front.
We've been talking about how families are involved in this sport. Your family is very deeply involved too, right, Joe?
Definitely. Everybody's involved. You know, mom's my biggest cheerleader. You know, I think everybody knows her the most, but my dad, he spots for me during the race. He's very important. My wife scores. My brother changes the front tires, and he's also a fabricator. Another brother makes parts for us, so everybody's involved.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Best of luck to you, Mike.
Thanks, Glenn. Coming up next on TNN, it'll be NHRA Today. We're going to continue with updates here from Dover throughout the afternoon, and when they run this race, we'll bring it to you live. Updates on Brett Bodine's situation. Yesterday in practice, he crashed up at turn number 3. The smear is there that he left up on the wall at turn number 3. Had a hard crash, broke his wrist. They kept him overnight for observation. Dick Trickle qualified the Quaker State Ford for tomorrow's race. It's not yet known if Brett will be able to start the car or not. We'll have more from Dover Downs later on, so stay tuned to TNN. We'll be back here when the rain lets up. TNN Motorsports proudly presents live flag-to-flag coverage of the Splitfire Spark Plug 200 presented by Track Auto. From Dover Downs, Delaware, where it is no longer raining and they're bringing cars up to the grid to line them up and to go racing. Yeah, finally, the rain is over. We've got some good visibility and a rising ceiling up in the northwest skies here from Dover Downs in the center of Delaware, and we're set to go racing. Pole position, Terry Labonte, ready to roll. We heard from him earlier. And after this rain delay, green racetrack, and we'll see what awaits the drivers for 200 miles. Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Mike. This is the Dentine Chevrolet of defending Busch Series champion Joe Nemechek, and you can see Joe is just now climbing in the car, getting ready to go. We've had a long wait, but I'm going to break tradition a little bit here. I'm going to talk to the First Lady of Busch Grand National Racing. This is Joe's mom, Martha. Now, if you haven't seen her cheering and urging Joe on, you haven't been paying attention at all. Martha, you get real excited, but this is a sport that you and your family have really gotten involved in.
Yes, we all seem to get together, and it's a family affair, and we just love being around our boys and having our family around us.
Well, you say boys, you've got another boy that's waiting in the wings to go racing too, son John.
Yes, John's racing late model stock, and someday I hope to have him into racing together like the Bodines and all the other ones.
Well, thanks a lot, Martha, and we wish that you would show a little more emotion when you're out there cheering Joe on. Let's get a quick word with Joe here right now. Joe, finally, looks like we're getting this thing ready to get underway.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's tough. You sit back, you're all excited in the morning, you know, you're getting ready to race, and then it starts raining. So it's cleared up, and I hope we can get this in. You know, the Dentine Chevrolet's been running good, and we're on the front row. Good place to be in one of these races.
Okay, Joe, best of luck to you. Now, let's go down to my buddy Randy Pemberton with another First Lady of Racing.
Well, the First Lady that I'm speaking with is another Martha. Of course, Martha Houston. I was talking to you a minute ago, wondering if you've made it to all these races. Tommy leads in this league and how many starts he has, over 350. Have you been to all the races?
Oh, yes. I wouldn't know what to do if I wasn't the races on the weekend. I couldn't stand it if I wasn't there. So I go to all the bush races and then get back to the local tracks to see my son's race as much as I can.
Tommy, do you take as much stock in, or enjoy your sons racing as much? I know they race.
Yeah, probably more so. I'm probably a basket case whenever they're racing, you know. Probably show myself a whole lot because it's just hard for me to stand in here and watch them go around.
Well, I talked to Tommy just a moment ago. He didn't even know that he had just over 300 starts or 350 starts. But, of course, his wife, Martha, knows. Mike Joy?
352 today, I think it is, Randy. So welcome to the neighborhood. Racing's a family affair, and this is our extended family. You folks at home have weekends off. We work weekends, and the folks we spend our weekends with are our extended family of racers on the road, Busch Grand National and Winston Cup. And it's a very tightly knit community, as sadly we've had to prove a couple of times this year. But there are a lot more chances to celebrate than there are to grieve, and we do it all together and have a good time with it. Let's meet some more of the folks that surround this sport of racing with my buddies Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. Here's Neil.
In all types of racing, there's a lot of family involvement. One side of it that you never see is the people in the scoring stand. A lot of family members here, a lot of people that work on the teams. But one big problem they come to the racetrack to see the races. It's very limited on what they get to see. Right out here, the races aren't scored at the start-finish line until the last lap. The white line you see up here on the racetrack is the area where they score the race every lap. The problem is the people in the scoring stand, they get to see about 300 yards of racetrack, and that's all they get to see. They come every week to work hard, get to see very little bit of the racetrack. For some more family involvement in racing, let's go down to the garage area with Buddy Baker.
Well, Neil, not everybody gets to be involved with their husband during the race. Debbie Bowen, our pit coordinator, never gets to see her husband run because we got her working at TNN. How in the world do you concentrate and do your job when Chuck's out there racing?
Well, Buddy, I think it's just a mindset. You know, I enjoy working for the television, and I do a lot of stuff for Chuck, too. In fact, all the races he won in the last few years, I've spotted for him. But here we go, Buddy. We got to get back to work.
Well, see you guys later.
Okay, buddy, we got to get this race underway. Then Bodine with a couple of last-minute words for husband Todd. And we're set to go racing at Dover Downs. We'll be right back live on TNN after these messages. TNN Motorsports coverage of the Splitfire Sparkplug 200 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Well, we're about 3 hours late, but we are ready to go racing here at Dover Downs. The showers have passed through. The track is mostly dry, still a little damp down on pit road, but we're just about ready to fire engines. Let's go down to Randy on pit road.
Well, Hermie Sadler sitting here in the Virginia is for Lover's Automobile, and also his sister Missy, a family affair all the way. You score for Hermie, don't you? Now, when did you start that?
About 3 years ago. I decided that I needed to be at the racetrack all the time to keep an eye on him since I'm the older.
Oh, keep an eye on. Well, everybody has to keep an eye on Hermie. They do generally because he runs up front. Hermie, the sport, it's always been a family affair. I know you like having your family around.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of the one that gets to get out here on Saturday afternoons and get a lot of the attention. But, you know, everybody that's out here racing has a lot of people behind them and support them, and it's just nice that we can have some family members doing that. I like to say hello to my mom's at home watching, I hope, and hope we get home safe today.
Well, I know your mom wanted to go to college and get a nice degree, and I guess all you have. You did go to school, and all of a sudden, what caught you here about racing? Why racing?
Well, it's something we've been around a long time. My dad owned cars when I was 4 and 5 and 6 years old, and I kind of been drug around to the racetrack all my life, and I'm finally get to do what I love to do. So it's kind of a dream come true for me.
Was it a marketing degree? Did you utilize marketing in order to get into racing? I know it helps you in it.
Yeah, no, I just studied industrial relations at Carolina, but you know, racing's a funny thing, and driving a race car is only less than half of what we have to do today. You have to be a good spokesperson and a good representative for your sponsor. The state of Virginia's been behind me 100%, and looking forward to put on a good show today.
Good luck today. And Missy, of course, you went to school too, Richmond, right?
I sure did, University of Richmond, that's right.
Okay, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Randy. They're getting set to fire engines here at Dover Downs for the Splitfire Sparkplug 200. There you see the field is lined up double file along the pit lane. Still a bit damp down there, but most of the, and so is the track apron. But most of the raceway itself is in real good shape to go racing here. And the fans are filling this grandstand, unreserved today. Let's have a look at the die-hard starting grid. Brought to you by Sears Die-Hard Battery, now with more power when you need it most. Terry Labonte has his first Busch Series pole since June of '91, and Joe Nemechek is here on the front row for the first time at Dover. Ricky Craven, 6th in the points. Harry Gant, winner here in '90 and '91. Larry Pearson with 3 second-place finishes at Dover, and David Green, 2nd in the Busch Series points. Tommy Houston is 7th, equals his best start of '93, and Tracy Leslie, winner at Indy in July. Phil Parsons finished 2nd here in '89. Bobby Daughter, back-to-back 3rd-place finishes last month. Row 6, Robert Presley, twice a winner at Dover. And Steve Grissom with a 155-point lead. Then in row number 7, Tom Peck has 6 top 10 finishes here. And Tim Fido is 2nd in the rookie standings. Ward Burton has 2 short track wins this year. He's in the 8th row with Jack Sprague. In row number 9, Jimmy Spencer finished 4th here a year ago. And Joe Bessie, who got an 8th last week at Richmond. In the 10th row, you'll find Richard Lassiter, who ran 10th at Daytona, and Mike Wallace. Back in row number 11, Brick Wilson, the Dover winner in 1989, and Todd Bodine, who won the June race here. In row number 12, Rodney Combs has 3 top 10 finishes this year, and Chuck Bound, who is 5th in points. In row 13, Jeff Burton, winner at Myrtle Beach in June, and the 18-year-old freshman racer Nathan Butke. Row 14, Bobby Hamilton, former Busch winner at Richmond, and Roy Payne, the rookie from Texas. Row 15 is Shauna Robinson from Iowa and Randy McDonald from Canada. Row 16, Hermie Sadler, the top rookie, 8th in points overall. Texas driver Steve Perry makes his first Busch start, as does Pat Davison, the local driver, and Larry Carroll from Wilmington makes his 2nd start at Dover. Let's go trackside and Glenn Jarrett.
Well, we're standing by. This is Steve Grissom's lovely wife, Susan, and you can see his young son, Kyle, there. Kyle has a birthday tomorrow, but Susan, all in all, the racetrack, not a bad place to raise a family.
Oh, definitely not, Glenn. Steve was raised all around racing, and I think it brings the closest to the family. You take Martha Houston, for instance. She's raised 3 boys here, so I think it's great.
All right, and I believe we have another birthday besides Adam you want to wish.
That's right. Kyle's birthday is Sunday, and my granddaddy, Grant, is birthday today, so we'd like to wish him a happy birthday.
Okay, thanks a lot, and sorry, Kyle, didn't mean to call you Adam. Mike?
A look at Steve Grissom back in the 6th row. Lights are on in the pace car. Engines are fired. Just as soon as things come up to temperature, they'll be rolling the field here at Dover Downs. We'll be back, finally, with the start of the Splitfire Spark Plug 200 from Dover Downs International Speedway. Cars on track here at Dover Downs, Delaware. Welcome back. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett and Randy Pemberton down in the pits, trying to get a little dried out like everybody else and get ready to go racing here at Dover Downs. Cars are in the backstretch on their first pace lap, 67 degrees. All the humidity you can ask for. Still a little breeze out of the north, blowing those clouds and the rain away. A little foggy, but okay to go racing here at Dover. You're watching Steve Grissom, Racing Electronics, out of Mays Landing, New Jersey. Has hooked us up with Steve Grissom today. And Steve, this is TNN. If you can copy us, what's it going to mean getting started here on a real green racetrack after this rain? We'll try Steve once more. Steve Grissom, this is TNN. Can you copy us? We'll double check with him after a bit here. Getting set to go racing. There's Grissom lined up right behind Bobby Daughter. Tracy Leslie just ahead. David Green up there. He is the point leader.
Mike, I just noticed they give 1 to go, but I'm not so sure it's not going to be a 1, and it started on the green on the caution, because they did give 1 to go, and the track's just a little bit wet. They've done everything in the world to dry this track off, and these cars right here are the best thing in the world to dry it with that heat.
Absolutely. With everything, all the headers, all the heat is going down right now. It'll dry it in a hurry.
This is a pretty common occurrence when you start a race after a rain delay such as this, to run the cars green-yellow for a bit. So these laps will count beginning next time by. Light is still on top of the safety car, you can see. Dover Downs, 1 mile. It's a big round oval, short straightaways, long turns. Straightaways are only 1,000 feet, 24 degrees in the turns, 9-degree bank straightaways. So the track does dry pretty quickly once it does rain. Randy?
Guys, it was a blessing in disguise for Mike Wallace, who was starting 20th. They might wonder what could happen to these cars sitting here for 2 hours. Well, something did happen to his car. He had a left rear tire equalized. NASCAR allowed them to change the tire. So if Mike Wallace took the green flag at 2 o'clock, he could have very easily been in the wall. So a little rain for him, that helped him. He'll still be allowed to start 20th.
Randy, for a lot of guys who don't understand what equalize, that means there's an outer tire and an inner tire, and you run 20 pounds more in that inner tire. If you got 30 pounds outside, the inner tire has like 50 pounds. So that thing right there would have shook him out of the seat. It tears the car from running like that.
Mike, when that thing equalizes, that tire starts hopping, it'll knock the windshield out of the car. It vibrates so bad.
There's a look at Mike Wallace, who takes this green-yellow flag in 20th position. Still behind the safety car, running at reduced speed. But they have started the race here at Dover. After a few laps of this, they'll get a look at the racetrack, talk to the drivers, and see if the track is in condition to go full green. We'll be back to Dover Downs right after this. We're back live with you at Dover, Delaware. 2 laps complete under this green-yellow condition. Trying to get a little more heat in the racetrack and get it dry. Steve Grissom was able to hear us a little bit ago and responded, but a little problem down below in the production truck. Let's see if we can get that hookup all the way through. Steve, this is TNN. Can you copy us now?
Yes, that's clear.
What's it going to be like getting out there on a racetrack that's completely green to run here after this rainstorm?
Well, I tell you, Dover's been pretty slick all week, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting here.
Are there any real damp places yet?
It was just a little bit damp right here going into turn 1 where the cars come out of pit road. But, you know, I think they get that dried off before they go green.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Good luck. Let's get down to Glen Jarrett.
Well, Mike, you're looking at the lovely Donna Labonte. This is Bobby Labonte's wife. Of course, Bobby owns the 44 car driven by David Green. And while we're in a family mode, we might as well report this. Donna just told me that they're expecting their first child next April. So congratulations to Donna and to Bobby. There's going to be a third generation Labonte, be it male or female. They're going to put her in a race car, they say.
Wouldn't be surprised. Nice folks, and that's great news for them. We also have a radio hookup with Joe Nemechek in the Dentine Chevrolet. Let's check in with Joe. Go ahead, buddy.
Joe, this is Buddy Baker, TNN. How things looking out there?
It's not looking too bad. It's still wet. Bottom groove right where your right side tires go. So it's going to take another probably 10, 15 laps to get it dried up. It's worse down here in turn 1, especially getting in turn 1 and a little spot coming off the floor. Other than that, I'm ready to race.
All right, man. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's the word from out there where it counts. So we'll run a few more laps under this green-yellow condition before we get going. We'll be right back to Dover Downs in Delaware, the Splitfire 200. Welcome back to Dover. Here's that area in turn number 1 Joe Nemechek was talking about, and Steve Grissom, where it's still a little bit damp, just up from the apron at the bottom of the racetrack. You see the pit exit there is still quite wet, and these tires are slick all the way across their treads. So coming out of the pits is going to be a lot of tiptoeing down there at the end of pit road to get up into turn 1.
They will probably sooner or later bring all the cars down pit road and try to work in that area just as they're doing the racetrack now.
6 laps are up on the board, and there is a forecast for more showers. That's why NASCAR elected to put the cars on the racetrack and go with this green-yellow condition. Ricky Craven is carrying our onboard camera today. You see him lined up right there next to Harry Gant. Let's check with him. Ricky, this is TNN. Are you anxious to get this thing going?
Yeah, you know, I know this DuPont Chevrolet is ready to go, and I'm pretty excited to go, but I'm still getting a little water off the Terry Labonte's car down here in turn 1 and 2. Be a little longer, I think.
Okay, thanks, Ricky. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
No wipers on these things, but most important, it's the tires that prevent stock cars from being able to race under these kind of conditions. See how easily that wheel goes back and forth, because you're not getting much traction there, but that track's still a little bit damp. Now, Ricky has our in-car, but the low cloud ceiling here has prevented the helicopter from going overhead to relay the signal, so we'll be able to, from time to time, show you shots as it relays back to the grandstand, but expect a little bit of video breakup there. Hermie Sadler in the Virginia's for Lovers car. Getting set to go racing here. And Hermie, this is TNN. Have you ever started a race on a super speedway when it's been green like this after a rainstorm?
Yeah, kind of frustrating. We've been here all day, and, then we finally get in a race car and get a chance to go. Then we got to wait a little bit longer, but it's definitely the safest thing to do, and they're telling us time to go, we can go green.
Okay, good luck. Hermie Sadler, as we check in, now we checked in with 4 of our 5 drivers on our racing electronics hookup. 5 laps, and we're going to look for green. So while they're rolling around under this green-yellow condition, let's take this pause from Dover Downs. We'll be back. 10 laps and counting here at Dover Downs. We're about 4 laps from getting the green. Now we're under this green-yellow condition from the start of the race. Let's go to the Rosa Stores Ford and get a word with Tommy Houston. Tommy, this is TNN. Is this track starting to get any grip in it?
Yeah, it's getting a little drier. A little concerned down here in the middle of 1 and 2, upper ladder lane. There's water running out from cracks in the surface, and they don't want to drive good down there, but everywhere else it looks pretty good.
Okay, good luck, Tommy. Houston is one of only 3 drivers who competed in the first Busch Series race here at Dover. He ran 6th that day in 1992. Phil Parsons and Harry Gant were also in that race.
Because one of the cars in the rear of the field came in and topped off with fuel, which is not a bad move. He was starting in the back. It's not going to cost him very much.
Bobby Hamilton going back out, picking up the tail end of the line here, and I think in 2 laps we'll look for green.
Mike, the start of a race is always hard to get it done without having a problem. And then when you have something that concern, maybe a little dampness in that corner, one guy's going to be a little bit conservative. Next guy says, hey, well, this is an opportunity for me to get around him. So there's a lot to play out in this first couple of laps to see how they get through this corner.
You go in that first corner on tiptoes until you see the fellow ahead inching away, and then I guess you get a little bolder.
Well, yeah, the crew always says, take it easy. Say, take it easy. Well, these cars aren't built to take it easy. They're made to go racing.
1 lap to go. Dry track down the straightaways and most of the corners. Steep banking here all the way around Dover Downs. Helps to dry the track quickly. It's going to be a little damp on pit lane. Drivers have all been advised of that. But actually, even pit lane is graying up just a bit here now. 200 laps here is exactly 200 miles. 34 cars will start this race. Harry Gant set the record average speed in 1991. Ran this race in 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 50 seconds. Terry Labonte on the pole. In his MW Windows Chevrolet, Joe Nemechek, defending Busch champ, alongside. There'll be 13 laps complete this time by when they'll get the green and the fans come to their feet.
I hope it's a lucky 13 for the start.
Let's hope so.
A good crowd. I tell you, they stay through this weather. They're ready to see this thing get going.
Elmo Langley brings the pace car, Pontiac Trans Am, down to pit road, and here they come. Green is on. And finally, we're racing at Dover Downs this afternoon. One car brushed against the wall in the front straightaway there, deep in the pack, but everybody will get into that corner without further incident. It'll be Nemechek.
Yeah, they were talking about that water might be just a little bit high on the second lane. That was the lane he had to use, and he really got through that corner good.
Nemechek and Labonte, Harry Gant, Ricky Craven to lead the first lap. Give it to Nemechek, but only by a foot. Labonte takes it away down in turn 1.
Labonte seemed to say, well, if he made it through there, I believe I could do it. And he stood back on the gas.
Harry Gant slipped way up the racetrack, and now he's battling for third with Ricky Craven. Just behind the 2 leaders. Big battle. Big pack coming off of the corner. Back down to the front straightaway. Quite a jumble up there in the early going. Todd Bodine slips to the inside, catches a couple of spots there. And tucks in again down low.
Labonte said earlier, but when he got the car off the trailer, it was flying. He got a good read on what it was doing.
Well, you can tell that. Nemechek come out of the corner there, and he just drove right up under him and right by him down the straightaway. He's got a lot of muscle there.
Front 2 cars tied together. They have a big lead over third place because on that, there it is. Ricky Craven took it away from Harry Gant. Larry Pearson, Stanley Tools car, up to the 4th spot, and that'll kick Gant back to 6th.
You know, Gant, when we saw him qualify 4th, we jokingly said, go ahead and give him the money because he usually starts 30th and then works his way up. But he started so close to the front, and it's kind of unusual. He usually starts rear, goes to front. Now he's fading back a little bit.
The reason I think he's falling back is he sets his car up for a slick racetrack, and right now it's green, and the car is really getting a bite, and I just think his car is a little bit out right now. The race will come to him.
Usually does. Here's Craven running in 3rd. His sponsor, DuPont, just up the road in Wilmington, Delaware. And Craven aching for that first career win.
Well, you can see Pearson running there behind him, and the car started to slide a little bit, and he got out of throttle, let him go about 6 or 8 car lengths ahead. They're still concerned. It's going to take a few laps to get this track like they want it.
There's Gant back to 6th. Tommy Houston 7th. Just ahead of them, Tracy Leslie, the 5th place car. And Phil Parsons in that group. Rick Wilson, black flag. The window net is down on Wilson's car.
See him coming in the pits. They won't let him run with that window net down.
Neil, you try everything in the world when that thing falls down. You try to hold it up with your left hand. You're fighting traffic and everything. You forget and let it drop down. They see it the minute it falls. That's what happened there, most likely.
Boy, here's pit road. We talked about how wet it was. Right here it's not too bad, but when he gets off this apron where the cars are, you're going to see water just fly down at the end of the pit road. That's where they're going to have to be concerned. This area right here as they exit the pits.
Now, Neil, as he comes out there, you saw the big splash. How long before his tires get cleaned of that water?
It's going to take him to put some heat in it to get it off of there.
Yep.
It's going to take heat to clean them off more so than the friction on the track there. Well, here's Nemechek. We're right back on Labonte again.
He is not going to let Terry get away. They're opening up a lead over Craven, Pearson, then that 3rd pack headed up by Tracy Leslie. In fact, Leslie has broken free of them. Then it's Tommy Houston, Harry Gant, Phil Parsons.
Boy, oh boy, Joe Nemechek's car is really hooked up. That left front was below the white line in the corner there.
You know, Labonte took off so quick. I thought once he did get back around like you're talking about, Buddy, I thought Labonte might drive away, but Nemechek's car is coming to him, or either Labonte's losing a little bit. He's all over him again.
They are distancing themselves from the rest of this field. 3rd place, still a good battle. Single file, though, Craven and Pearson. Leslie alone in 5th, and here is 6th place, Tommy Houston. Car 6 in position 6, car 7, position 7. Phil Parsons out of sequence. No, he's the 8th place car, the Matchbox Toys car.
You know, we might see some of these cars be off. Usually when a Busch race starts, there's a big pack. But not only did the rain hurt the race, this morning they canceled all practice. So they haven't had 1 lap of practice since qualifying. So this might have some of these guys wait to that first caution or the first pit stop to be able to get these cars working a little bit better.
Houston missed the race last Friday night at Richmond in his own car. Started Rick Mass. Rick got in it, brought it to a top 5 finish. This battle is 5 seconds behind the leader. Backing up in the field a bit, Robert Presley running in 13th position.
Yeah, that's the opposite direction for him. He usually goes to the front when one of these Busch races starts.
He started 11th, so he's only dropped 2 spots, running there with Ward Burton, who has gained 3 positions. Let's go to Randy.
Well, I thought you were talking about Robert Presley, if you were. He started 5th. He backed up to about 13th. I'm not exactly sure where he is now. Went down there and talked to his crew chief, Ricky Pearson, and said, basically, Robert is just taking it easy. It's still a little bit damp down there, and Robert is such an aggressive driver that he attacks the racetrack, and unless he can get absolute 100% grip, he just decided to back out a little bit. So that's Presley's story.
What do you think, Neil? Will there be a big difference between a driver who's real aggressive and then a driver who likes to baby the car? Oops, here's one.
Yeah, there's one for the lead right there. There's Labonte slipped up a little bit. Nemechek took the lead. But, Mike, that's what you do with a guy that really throws the car around. He needs the thing under him. He needs the track to be in good shape. If a guy's real aggressive, he'll be the first guy to turn it around. So they're going to have to be careful right first this race.
2 of the rookies getting overlapped there. Davison and Perry. Steve Perry in that car looking like a twin to Mike Wallace. As the leaders have caught the tail end of the field. 28 of 200 laps complete. Roy Payne from Texas.
Boy, this is where they got to be careful here. The 2 lead cars. Well, now look at right behind him, 99 car has come up on him also. So got the 3 leaders right there together in this traffic jam.
Yeah, that lead all but disappeared.
I tell you, Ricky Craven there in 3rd spot, he has to win a race soon. He is driving that race car great this year, and if the car works well, he knows how to relay to his people. This car should be a winner before long.
Craven off the corner. They lap the Canadian driver, Randy McDonald. There you're looking from the 3rd place car.
Nemechek's doing the same thing Labonte did at the first race. Once he got him a little bit of breathing room, use that traffic, really worked traffic well, and got a little bit of a lead here.
Now Rick Wilson just ahead of the leaders is a lap down and in danger of going 2 laps down after that black flag stop to have the window net put back up. He's in the Charlie Henderson Food Country car 75. Just in front of the leader, Nemechek.
You know, in racing, you can live with breaking rods and valves and tires going down. When a window net falls down, you say, man, what else can happen? But just little crazy things like that can really cost you.
Little thing. Mark Martin practicing at Martinsville last week. Went off into the corner. The brakes hadn't been bled, apparently. And smacked the wall. Brett Bodine here Friday. Freeze plug fell out of the motor. Smacked the wall, broke his wrist. Little thing.
That freeze plug is not a little thing. I'm going to tell you what. That's as close to the electric chair as anything I can mention.
I meant little in the sense that a little mistake.
Oh, man.
Like not securing that freeze plug by either welding it in or pinning it in. A little mistake.
When that,
have big consequences.
When that hot water gets under the slicks, though, away you go.
33 laps of 200. Took a long time, 3 hours and 20 minutes to finally get this race started, but they're taking off and they're giving the fans quite a show. Here it is up front, lapped car. Bobby Hamilton down to the inside trying to give the leaders racing room. All 3 of them go off into the corner. And Labonte's trying to inch his way up the quarter panel of Nemechek.
What are we seeing here? All of a sudden, one guy takes the lead, he drives off. The next guy gets the lead, he drives away. Then we look back there in the water again, all 3 of them.
Traffic. Getting caught up in traffic. And now here goes Craven for second.
This track, though, with the degree of banking you have, that outside lane is workable at times. Right now, I think they're willing to give it up with that questionable grip out there on the outside.
You're calling that the outside lane, that second lane, Neil. Actually, aren't there still about 5 more lanes to where Harry Gant usually runs, or used to run here?
Yeah, but those top 3 need seats put up there. You don't need to use them.
I think you're right.
Yeah, Gant had him. This is a 1-mile racetrack. Gant was the only guy that ran the 1 mile.
Yeah.
Everybody else runs 3/4 of a mile. He runs it right around the top of the wall.
It's over 550 if you put an odometer in that car. Now there is Tommy Houston in 5th, Harry Gant in 6th. Tracy Leslie's dropped back.
That's a good example of what we were talking about earlier. The Gant's driving back on Houston now, where Houston just drove by in the first part of the race.
Todd Bodine in 34, the Biddle Paddle Chevy. They qualified pretty well back in the field, 22nd, because the motor that crew chief Clyde McLeod wanted to use did not arrive in time for qualifying, so they had the old one in, qualified 22nd, put a brand new Ron Hunter V6 in it late yesterday afternoon, and he is flying through the field. He started in 22nd position. He's up to 13.
I went by when they were changing motors, Mike, and they took the motor out of the 34 car, and the block was rusty. I never had a race engine that would last long enough to get rusty. I was joking with them about it, but it evidently had been there quite a while.
Might get rusty in the truck going back and forth to Hutters in Ohio.
That could be the deal.
Who knows?
All of them I had usually pretty well oil themselves from the inside out.
Yeah. That's Jimmy Spencer just ahead of Todd Bodine. And trouble for Harry Gant. Easy off.
Is off
the face. It's not easy. That car, if you built models of race cars, you'd have to have about 50 Harry Gant cars just to cover this year. They've had 4 different sponsors on Ed Whitaker's car.
Every time I see it, I have to make sure it's Harry Gant. Got the right number of different sponsors on it.
But I'm told they're all products from the same company. They're testing the waters and trying to give them all a little exposure. And sadly, too little today. There's Gant. There was the pit board sign. And he's going straight to the garage.
Oven cleaner. They're catering to all the mechanics, I guess. Yep, he's going to the garage. That was history.
Yeah, he's gone to the truck, not just to the garage. He's making a hard left there, going to the truck to put it up.
I knew he qualified too good. I'm telling you. Gant was way too close to the front to start this. He likes to start in the rear.
Don't say that. Terry Labonte, the MW Windows Chevy, leads this race. Now let's go back to Jimmy Spencer battling there with Todd Bodine. That's the Jack Ingram car that Spencer's driving. Shoppers Food Warehouse sponsoring that Pontiac. That blue and yellow car, and Bodine gets underneath and moves himself on up to 11 behind Steve Grissom.
Neil, I think that Todd Bodine has a lot of characteristics that you had. The harder the racetrack is to drive and the more physical it is, he seems to really go well at the mile racetrack. He won his first race here, as a matter of fact. I think it's because neither one of you have a neck.
That's got something to do with it. Maybe a little bitty fat neck helps.
Let's go to Glenn.
Well, Mike, they're under the hood of Harry Gant's car. Harry is taking his helmet off. Harry, what happened?
Well, looked like the engine blew up. Car was running really good. We was really looking forward for a good run here today for our sponsor, Easy Off and Rick and Coleman. But I thought we was in good shape, but this can't get them under that license.
Okay, blown engine for Harry again. He's out early.
Mike, we got to talk to Harry. He's got the wrong uniform for the week this week. He had French's on it. He had the little car last week.
Well, same company.
Okay.
They made lots of decals and not a lot of driver suits. I wonder if that oven cleaner works on engine compartments.
We'll find out.
A lot of heat under there, Mike. 44 laps complete. Here's the way they're running as we're under green at Dover Down. Coming up on 50 laps complete, heavy traffic for the race leader. Ricky Craven has snuck in front of Terry Labonte. First race he's led since Hickory in April. They move around Randy McDonald. Carry Rick Wilson along, though he is now 2 laps down after that green flag stop. That's Tim Fedowa, the rookie, just ahead, and just in front of him, Ward Burton, a moment ago.
I think they just got around Ward. He's having some problem. That was a real gutsy move on part of Ricky Craven. He was chasing Labonte. They got some real tough traffic. Took a lot of chances, got right on around him.
If I'm not mistaken, Terry Labonte has such a strong car. When they come into traffic, he just kind of eases out and lets everybody else challenge the traffic. Then he just skirts right on by, and he'll probably be back up front in a second.
Gonna let Craven go on up and do the dirty work. There's David Green, number 2 point man, and Todd Bodine, who started well back in this field but has made a strong run from 22nd at the first lap up to 10th. And now 9th at lap 50.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you said they put a brand new engine in. Well, they certainly got it working good. They never get to do a lot of practice with it, but it's really flying.
Moving up on Tracy Leslie, the 7th place car, and Phil Parsons just ahead of him. Richard Lassiter. And Craven has opened up some distance, you can see now, as he moves past Bobby Hamilton. Let's show you again the pass for the lead.
Real heavy traffic right here. See Craven down the inside. It really looks like there's nowhere to go. He gets under Labonte, and he picks that middle section right there.
I don't see anywhere to go.
But he just made him a place there. Ward Burton, we saw him up earlier. He did get lapped right there. He was having some problem with that lap.
Ward Burton, Shauna Robinson all going a lap down. We've run 53 straight laps, and the last 40 of them have been under green. 13 yellow, 40 green laps, with Craven out front.
That's the biggest lead we've seen today. Craven, we've seen some of the other guys switch the lead back and forth 4 or 5 car lengths. Craven's stretched it way out now.
Ward Burton.
Neil, you just made a comment about Ward Burton. He definitely has a problem. Here he comes into the pits now.
Yeah, the next problem is going to be stopping coming in here on this water. The crews have worked on the area around the pit areas far in where they got a problem.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the pit road speed limit today. Nobody is going to cheat on that one. Randy?
Guys, we documented how Ward has been struggling out there. He just went a lap down, and this car generally runs up front everywhere where they go. Problem being, Ward said, man, it is just all over the place. Possibly even a broken shock, but they're going to try and look at it. While they're in here, they're going to change all 4 tires. That's what they originally did. Yep, they're going to come around. They're checking a couple of rounds of wedge out of left-hand side. Crew Chief Freddie Fryer did that. They're not sure if it's a broken shock or what. They tried to talk to him, and his voice was so shaky. Uh-oh, we got a possible caution. We got a caution. We're finishing up. Ward's voice was so shaky they couldn't tell what he was even saying. It's a handful out there, so they're going to try and work on it.
Tom Peck had been slowing also, Randy. He's expected on pit road, but caution is out. Pace car will pick up the leader next time by. 57 laps. Big run back to the flag. Ricky Craven had backed way out of the throttle. Terry Labonte came along with a full head of steam, as did the 75. Rick Wilson trying to get one of his laps back. Who's the leader? We'll check and let you know in a minute. 57 laps in. Second car. We are under caution here at Dover Downs. That shock absorber did come off of Ward Burton's car, and it was sitting out in the middle of the backstretch. That was the reason for the caution. Larry Carroll got tangled up in another car and spun into the infield wall in the back straightaway, so cleanup will take a few laps here. Ward Burton is back into the pits, and you see quite a flurry of activity along pit road. Richard Lassiter, Shauna Robinson, and Bobby Hamilton's car is ablaze. He had a little bit of everything today.
Looked like it coughed back through the carburetor. The air cleaner was on fire earlier, coming out through the top of the hood.
Hermie Sadler going back out. Tim Fedua and Ward Burton going back out, though he is now 3 laps behind unofficially. Short day for Bobby Hamilton, the Moen Fawcett Chevrolet. Curtis Key owns that car. Eddie Pardue, the crew chief. There's Hamilton out of the car and looking it over.
Yeah, looking at the air cleaner there, the fuel line that went into it. Something that looked like a fuel fire to me when it went off.
So still under caution here at lap number 60. And we're told that Joe Nemechek will pick up the lead with the pit stops by the rest of the drivers. Joe, this is TNN. How is it on the racetrack now?
It's pretty good. Outside groove, getting in turn 1's a little bit slick. You got to be really careful. Otherwise, the racetrack's pretty good. Our car is doing real good. Got a little bit of a push in to come off before, which is typical. But we just made a pit stop, came back up to the front, and we're ready to go again.
Thanks. Good luck. Rodney Combs just ahead is the race leader. Won the National Dirt Racing Association title in 1980. Had some runs in Winston Cup. Now is a home on the Busch circuit, driving for Rodney Rexroad.
Rodney beat him out of the pits, I guess, or either he didn't stop because 3 guys behind him were the race leaders earlier.
Let's get a word with Ricky Craven. Oh, Craven on the line with his crew there. Ricky, from here at TNN, it looks like you're surrounded. Nemechek just in front of you, Labonte right behind you. Have you got enough for him?
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, I like the view from up here. It's been a while since we've been leading the race, but the team's doing a great job, and we'll just keep the DuPont Chevrolet up front all day and see what happens with 30, 40 to go.
Okay, thanks. Should be only a lap or 2 before we get back to green here. Rodney Combs the leader, Joe Nemechek second, Ricky Craven is third, Terry Labonte is fourth. In fifth, Larry Pearson. Let's have another look at what happened up on pit road here.
You see the fire coming out the top of the air cleaner all the way back, and then they shot the extinguisher on it.
Pretty quick work.
Yeah.
On Ward Burton, he did not lose the shock absorber. It was equalized right rear tire. I was just told from the pits.
Which would have been why his voice was shaking so bad they couldn't understand him, like you
right.
said.
Well, there was a shock absorber on the racetrack, so somebody out there has lost one. I don't know if they figure out who it is yet or not. Or either they left the spare in the trunk and it fell out.
It was Tom Peck's car, Neil. That was the reason Peck had slowed. He was the car that lost a shock absorber, number 19.
We used to, on all these race cars, run 2 shocks per wheel, had 8 shocks on the cars. Now everybody's went to one really strong shock. And before, you could actually lose one and live with the car a little bit, but now when you've just got one per wheel, it goes away, you got to do something in a hurry.
That's right. These new gas pressure shocks are so efficient, you don't need the 2 of them until one goes. Here's Tom Peck, the Delco Remy Chevy in the pits.
And I bet you see this guy's got the shock in his left hand there. They're going to try to put a shock on for him. Looks like it's off the right front. They're over getting ready to pull the one off the right front. They got the extra shock ready.
Well, if they didn't lose the bracket, if they just broke the shock, they'd be okay.
Yeah, I think they did break the bracket. You can see the top of the roll bar right there. It looks like it's torn out of the welding area. So, you know, they're not going to be able to put another one on that one.
Look, everybody thinks they ought to be in the lead.
Well, the leader's Rodney Combs. It's Rick Wilson is trying to get up right alongside to get his other lap back. Tim Fedua, who is just 1 lap down, trying to line up there right alongside Combs. That's the way we're going to restart. Hermie Sadler has dropped a lap as well.
They give you to that line going in turn 3 to get it 2 abreast. If you're not 2 abreast there, the third guy on the line, he gets to come down pit road, so they sorted it back out.
Self-sorting. Lap 64, and we're back to green. Nemechek right in Combs' tire tracks, dipping those wheels below the white line.
I'm going to find out how much truth Mr. Combs tells. He told me he had one of the fastest cars here. We're getting a good idea that he does.
He does right this moment. Good restart for Rodney Combs. Flex Air heating and air conditioning forward. Nemechek tracks him out of the corner.
He's giving him that outside line. Combs went to the inside. Nemechek drove right around the outside.
Single file, Bodine, Houston. Trouble, turn 2. One car smacks the wall.
Chuck Bound, I believe, isn't it? Oh, me.
Oh, a near miss by that second car. Getting way up and almost into him. I believe that was Pat Davison.
There's Ward Burton all torn up on the front. Chuck Bound's car, both front and rear torn up.
And Bobby Dotter.
No matter how bad Chuck Bound's car is torn up, he better be lucky because that car missed him at high speed right at the end of that wreck.
Right, rookie driver Pat Davison from Dover. Just barely got into him and tagged him. There's a little traction finally. Wow. Nescafe Motorsports Design Pontiac for Bound. See what happened here.
Oh, the white car on the inside looked like broke loose. That's the 8 car. That's Burton. Looked like he broke loose, got up in the side of Chuck Bound. Bound goes up and slaps the wall.
That looks bad there, but watch this car coming right into the frame right here.
Yeah, fix to hit him right in the door.
Almost.
Yeah, good move to dodge him right at the last minute.
Almost dodged him. Looked like knocked the left front off that car of Davison's. Here's the second look after it already started. You see Bobby Dotter get in it here, too.
Boy, there's Butke involved in it, going off the track there.
Burton will get Butke right there.
I guarantee you Chuck Bound sitting there in that racetrack seeing that car coming, he might not have yelled, but he whimpered a little, I promise you.
I would guess
so. Watch how close this car does. I believe it takes the nose off, takes the left front off, and then the nose off the other car.
Yep, he just did get him.
Ooh, me.
Very close. Jeff Hensley and crew go to work, and they'll have some work to do. 66 laps complete. We are under caution for the 3rd time today. Here's how they're running. We'll be right back. Chuck Bound's back on pit road. He went out and took a lap. Fenders flailing to keep from losing one. There they get out the old speed wrench to help take that thing off.
Boy, oh boy.
There's all the bracing. It goes back to the roll cage to hold the fender supports and all, and had to rip that off.
Not pretty.
Yeah, when you're in that points deal, you have to take a pretty ugly race car back out at times to try to finish.
Chuck is 5th in the points, 11 ahead of Ricky Craven, and 60 behind Robert Presley.
They're going to bring that thing back in and cut some more. They're going to give everybody on the crew a tetanus shot.
Joe Nemechek is the leader. Rodney Combs is 2nd. 3rd caution of the day. Ambulance has gone out, made a quick run, and then comes back. Keeping with the family theme that we started this show, we asked Joe Nemechek's wife, Andrea, if she worries more about her husband here at Dover than perhaps at other racetracks.
No, Dover's not really a track that I really worry about. I know that this track can be dangerous because if you make any wrong move and hit the wall, you have nowhere else to go but hit another car or another wall. The bigger tracks are what I worry about, but Joe does do good here, and we do have good luck, so it doesn't really worry me.
Exclusive coverage of the Splitfire Spark Plug 200 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. They've had a bit of lengthy cleanup. Chuck Bound's car looking a little better after they got some of that rent sheet metal knocked off it. Nathan Butke's car was dragged in on the hook with a lot of front-end damage. Bobby Dotter was in for minor repairs, cosmetic repairs to the nose of his car. Chuck Bound's crew continues to work.
Going to fix it up where it looks a little bit better here before they go this time.
Probably get some of that flopping fender off of there as well. Steve Grissom out there rolling around, had himself a start back in 12th place. And currently he is running in 11th. Steve from TNN, what's the condition of the racetrack right now as we get one to go here?
I tell you, it's coming around. You know, it's kind of one of those deals. That outside lane's not there yet, and it's kind of tricky in traffic. But of course, bottom lane, it's coming around.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Good luck. One to go, and we'll go racing here. 71 laps are complete. Cars on the lead lap line up in that bottom lane. There's David Green, Grissom, and Tracy Leslie, and the clouds are moving back in here to Dover. So Neil's waving frantically here in the booth, so hurry up and let's go.
Wave the green, quick.
Yeah. They may restart this one without Chuck Bound. Problems on the left rear of that car.
Yes, that inspector's standing over beside the car. They'll let you come in and out to a certain point, and then he's going to make that car be in a specific frame before he lets it go back out there when the rest of the cars are running. So they're going to have to satisfy that inspector before he lets him go this time.
Tom Peck is also on pit road trying to get a shock bracket and shock absorber put on his Delco Remy Chevy. Lap 73 will be the restart green after this third caution of the day for the multi-car crash at turn 2. Joe Nemechek out in front. It's been 13 months since he visited Victory Lane back in New Hampshire last August. Looking for his first win of the season. In fact, of the top 10 starters here today, only one of them had won a race this year.
Wow, look at this. I tell you what, I love this camera angle here. That looks as much like what we see behind the steering wheel as any camera I've ever looked at.
Yeah, that's Craven right there behind Rodney Combs. Craven's car early in the race really looks stout. He's got to get around Combs if he can to try to run the leaders down.
And Terry Labonte getting underneath Rick Wilson, who does not get back on the lead lap. Back in 5th, Larry Pearson. Todd Bodine is up to 6th. Tommy Houston 7th. Bill Parsons 8th. 9th, Jimmy Spencer. And 10th, David Green. Battle for 2nd.
Saw Craven get under now. Labonte's trying to take advantage of that one car being up a lane. Called Rodney Combs up a little bit higher, and both of them got by.
Larry Pearson, the Stanley Tools car, looking for racing room on the bottom. Gets it. And there's Bodine.
There's a good idea of when you don't come in and get tires where you go to. The one car is on old tires from the start of the race, and he's going straight to the rear.
Pearson knifes underneath the 75 car of Rick Wilson, a lap down.
Whoa,
and they get together.
We have a spin.
And Pearson meets the wall.
Watch out for oncoming traffic.
Boy, Grissom just got past, and we're under caution, 4th time today. It looked to me as if Pearson and Rick Wilson might have made contact going into the corner. Hard to tell from that camera angle, but they might have got together, and that might have been just enough to loosen up Larry Pearson to where he went around.
It'll probably be just enough to make him a little bit more cautious the rest of them on this next restart also.
The left side of the car where he caught the wall. We'll have a replay here. Get another look at it. 76 laps complete. We're inching toward the halfway mark that would make this race official. Let's see.
They both turned down in the corner right there. Oh, they did touch.
Yeah.
They touched just as they entered it off in the corner. It doesn't take but just a little bit to get him sliding.
Neil, it looked like Larry Pearson might have tried to pull the car back. He touched the 75 car. I mean, he might have turned down the racetrack and got himself in trouble there.
Yeah, pull the back end up on the car. It's hard to say. They look like he touched the left front, right front against the left front initially.
Another angle from behind. Look down in the corner.
Okay, that's where they hit each other.
Ooh, hit pretty good getting down in that corner.
You see him jerk the wheel, then the back end flew out. Rick tried to go up high. Good piece of driving to miss him there.
And point leader Steve Grissom will come along right here and narrowly miss Larry Pearson.
Tracy Leslie come along right after he cleared him.
And trouble for the pole sitter, Terry Labonte. Left side tires and doing what under the hood?
Well, I don't really understand it. Usually if there's an engine problem, you got 4 guys under the hood. Looked like they were doing a normal tire change on the left side, and they're just taking a look under the hood to see what's going on.
Rodney Combs also in the pits. The hood up on that Ford. And that does have everybody under the hood.
Yep. Everybody, some of them don't even know what a motor is, but they go look under there. The engine guy gets under there. Everybody's got to take a look. When the motor blows up, everybody says, "Let me take a look at this thing, see what happens."
You know what it looked like to me? It might have had a header pipe or something with a hole in it, and he was trying to see if it was dragging or something.
Larry Pearson is okay, the former Busch Series champ. Son of NASCAR's second all-time winner, David Pearson. His brothers, Ricky and Eddie, work on Busch Grand National Cruise.
Did you see the spark fly out of Larry Pearson's car going in the corner there? It bottomed out pretty hard.
But look behind him, too. There's another car, a couple cars doing the exact same thing down there at turn 1.
Yeah, it looked like the 6 car also bottomed in the corner like you were talking about, Mike.
I was sitting down there in practice, Neil, and saw a lot of cars would go into turn number 1, and as the car would drop down and really low, that they would bottom the frame or the pipes or something down there.
When it hits like that, though, it'll scoot sideways about 6 inches. When it hits flat on the metal like that, it just slides.
One thing that contributes to that, too, also, Mike, at a racetrack this size, you run a relatively weak spring to be able to get the kind of bite you need here. And the spring will compress so it flattens. There they go in the corner.
Watch the Firefly here.
I watched the blue car, Houston. See, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. He just didn't have anybody on the outside of it.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've hit that bump spark fly. They say, "Can you drive around that?" And I said, "Well, yeah, you can drive around it, but you'll just hit the fence a little further around." That's just right in the racing groove. Here we come again.
This is an exception to the 8 wheels corner better than 4 rule right here.
Okay, you see a 75 car going up here. He knows there's going to be trouble. Now he's slowing the car down. That's a good piece of driving right there.
But you, like we're talking about, you run such a soft chassis right here that the thing's going to travel a long way, just like we have the guys breaking shocks and all. A lot of movement. When that thing bottoms out, jumps around, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
79 laps complete, 20 to halfway, 120 laps to the end of the race. Glenn?
Well, Mike, I'm standing in Terry Labonte's pits, waiting on him to bring the 14 M&W Chevrolets back in the pit. He has an oil leak. They have some plastic tie wraps and some rags. Here comes Terry right now. They're going to go under the hood. They're going to try to stop this oil leak right now. We'll see what we can tell where the oil leak is. I got a suspicion it's on a valve cover gasket or on a breather. They're going to the front of the engine, and it's right around the oil cooler. They've got a leak coming in from the oil cooler, so they put some straps on it, some rags to try to satisfy NASCAR. That's all it was. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of oil leaking out of the car right now, so maybe it's not too serious a problem.
So Labonte goes back out.
Uh-oh, something.
Well, but
choked down just for a second.
Jammed it in gear and got going again. So he'll pick up the tail end of the field here. Coming up on 80 laps here at the Monster Mile. Looks like we're still a lap or 2 away from going back to green as Larry Pearson's car is hauled in on the hook. Here's the way they're running. Nebacek, Craven, Bodine, Houston, and Parson. Spencer, point leader Steve Grissom, Tracy Leslie, Jeff Burton, and Joe Bessie.
Give it 1 to go, Mike. So be back to green here in just a minute.
Rodney Combs comes back in to top off the tank, and so does Bobby Dotter. And there's Ward Burton's modified. All you modified fans, got something familiar to watch here.
The low oil racing.
Yep, at least at the front anyway. Glenn?
Well, Larry, what happened out there?
I don't know. We was lapping a slower car, and I got underneath him. When I got under him, he came down on me, hit me in the right rear, and turned me the wrong way to start with, and I caught it and come back around, and I couldn't save it after that. I don't know. He's out there trying to win the race, I guess.
Looked like you had an awfully good car under you.
We had a real good car. You know, we ran good last time here, and came back this time. We're running good. The car's a little tight to make some adjustments, and you know, what can I say? It was running good.
Well, sorry to see you have tough luck. Better luck next time.
Larry Pearson out of it here at Dover today. Back to green. Joe Nemechek out in front of Ricky Craven, and Todd Bodine is up to third.
And Bodine's kind of marched all the way through this field. They're going to reckon with him here shortly.
He's the red car right side of your screen. The winner here in June. Tommy Houston in fourth. Bill Parsons having a good run here today in fifth. And there is Labonte. Terry Labonte, that is, toward the tail end of the lead lap in 14th spot. There's David Green, 44, and the other Labonte car, the one owned by Terry's younger brother, Bobby. And Terry, one car way up off the base. Sorry, that's not Terry. He's chasing Hermie Sadler, and Sadler is one lap down.
The Sadler usually really runs well. He had a problem qualifying. The car almost got out from under and started well in the back and has not been able to get up front.
Neil, I'd have seen some smoke out of the 14 car, so it's a pretty big oil leak. I've seen it come out of the left side of the car just now.
Yeah, I'm sure enough for them to be concerned on pit road. They must have been putting a little bit of puddle down when they stopped. So that drag around it might just delay the problem they're going to have.
Shauna Robinson makes a pit stop under green. She passed to the left on the restart, so it's a black flag stop. She's back out there.
Yeah, the volume smoke, but it looks like you said, smoke's getting a little bit worse all the time.
You can see it there. See, I was trailing him even down the straightaway now.
Yeah, I don't doubt they'll be bringing back in and work on that.
At sixth place, that's the blue number 10 car, Jimmy Spencer, driving Jack Inger's Pontiac with Steve Grissom and Tracy Leslie.
Grissom's the type of driver that just gradually works his way up all day long. No matter where he starts, he'll be right there at the end. That's one reason he's leading his points battle. He's continuously pecking away at it.
He's got that aggressive, smooth kind of style.
My wife seen him on the interview last week when the guy was doing the race out of Richmond there. She said he looked like a football player, not a race car driver, and I said he was.
Yes, sir. He was quite a football player.
Up at third spot, Todd Bodine and Tommy Houston have marched through the field. Houston started seventh, but Bodine began this race back in 22nd spot and is now third.
I tell you, Houston's having a good run. He's had a little bit of problem lately with his cars. Got the thing really running good today.
Well, that car is handling beautifully, too.
That one's not. Chuck Bound's car with the nose knocked off it.
I hope he doesn't pass it by right. There's a fender sticking out there to grab him.
Third and fourth place, single file. Here's your Napa Field standing update, brought to you by Napa because there are no unimportant parts.
I don't know what's rubbing on the bottom of that 6 car, but it won't be there before this race is over. We talked about him, the sparks coming off that car as he entered the first turn right before that wreck while ago. Every time he goes in the corner, something's bottoming out and dragging on the car, so he's gradually wearing it away. Probably the exhaust system, I would think, but cross member.
And Bodine pulling away just a little bit from Tommy Houston here. There's the race right behind them. Good battle here. In fifth, just behind this group, is Phil Parsons, who's had a strong run here, the white car, here in the early going.
Just saw the leaders go by with Nemechek leading. Ricky Craven running him down a little bit.
I think the whole pack is kind of moving back together here. There's first and second, Nemechek, Craven. Here's Bodine and Houston. Third and fourth. Parsons is fifth. Grissom is sixth. Here's the race for seventh. Chuck Bound back at the pits.
Tracy Leslie had some good runs this year.
And a win. He's pulling up now on Jimmy Spencer. Back behind him is the 8 car of Jeff Burton in 9th and Robert Presley 10th.
So that's Jack Ingram's car that Spencer drives, the 10 car. Used to seeing Ingram with a Chevrolet. That looks like a Pontiac there.
That it is, Neil.
Leslie can catch him there. Spencer's car really works well around the bottom. There we go. Here comes Fast trying to make the move to the inside.
I knew this looked just too smooth and too easy. Those two guys run a single file. That something was going to happen here in a second.
I'll tell you one thing. You better watch that snatching that wheel up off that corner like that.
Boy,
look at here.
Got a good run at him up off turn 4.
And makes the pass.
You know, 2 years ago, Jimmy Spencer wouldn't do this, but he knows his car's a little bit off now, and he just give way and let the guy go because he knows later on he might make an adjustment and get himself going and get the same treatment.
7th place was the change there. Tracy Leslie moving up to 7th.
You know, we heard earlier about the 59 car. They said he was laying back. Presley's not been in the same look, so we find out what the problem with him. He's way back off the pace.
And here's Steve Grissom coming up on Phil Parsons. This is 5th place here. And Grissom goes by, moves up into 5th. Parsons is 6th. We asked Steve Grissom, what does he like to do with his free time during the week?
Most of the time during the week I'm at the shop, but if we get a day off or something, I enjoy going to the golf course and trying to beat the ball around a little bit.
Halfway. This race will be official, even if the rain moves back in. We're at 100 of 200 laps here. Don't forget tomorrow, Splitfire Spark Plug 500 live here on TNN. Winston Cup race. Now Todd Bodine draws a bead on Ricky Craven and 2nd place. Here is where Bodine has moved. Remember, he started 22nd. There's his progress over the last 55 laps. 10th to 3rd and moving fast on 2nd.
Well, I tell you, the longer that boy runs, the faster he gets, or something. They back up to him one because in these races, you know, he's a product of the new tires, though. When he started running Busch Grand National, they went to the radial tire. So he didn't have the experience on the big old tires that let you get sideways and all. And he's really good on these tires.
Good point, buddy. That's right. Joe Nemechek, Ricky Craven, in fact, all of these young drivers on the Busch Series have come along in the last couple of years. You can't say the learning curve is any easier because the cars are getting faster.
That's the whole thing, but they learn to drive so much harder in these cars through the corner because they're not V8s and you don't have to back them down as much. They go through the corners like we do at Daytona Talladega. Just breathe them a little and go again.
Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, I've moved down into Todd Bodine's pit. This is Clyde McLeod, the crew chief. And Clyde, I've seen you guys working feverishly on the car all week, but you really put a number under him today. That car was flying.
It's a little bit loose right now, Glenn. We're hoping to get another caution here and tighten her up a little bit. Let that tire down. It's an untried motor. We have no practice. We're just going along as we can.
We at TNN want to thank you for the nice hat you're wearing, too.
Oh, I got that from your cameraman, Jim DeRoy.
Okay, well, if that car's loose and running that well, I hate to see what he does to the rest of the field when they get it right.
Timmy's another one like Clyde and myself from around Hartford, Connecticut, so we hang kind of tight.
You mean Yankees stick around together, too?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to say that, Mike.
I'm going to get you another hot fudge sundae. Okay. Because you inhaled the first one. Robert Presley running in 10th behind Jeff Burton there in the Phil Martossi Baby Ruth car, the Alliance Training Center Chevrolet. Presley started this race in 11th and hasn't much moved from there.
No, yeah, this car right here is usually one of the strongest players every week. You know, just in and out right there, a chance to win the race.
2nd place, heating up. Craven and Bodine. He joined us late. His older brother, Brett Bodine, yesterday cracked the wall and his wrist in practice. Dick Trickle qualified the Kenny Bernstein Quaker State Ford for Sunday's race here at Dover. It's not known yet if Brett will be able to start the race or not, that risk.
Mike, we talked to him just earlier down on the pits before we came up to the booth, and they said they didn't think they would be able to. I think Kenny Bernstein, the car owner, is going to fly him up to Trammell's clinic. Trammell's out of the country, let him set that risk. But we don't want to mislead him. Let me tell you that it was a crack where he broke his wrist, but there was a lot of concern right after the accident. You know, he had an injury to his head. He's unconscious. So it's a good relief to find out he's going to be all right.
Yep, he is okay and should be out of the hospital this weekend. 5th place is this battle. Steve Grissom leading Phil Parsons and Tracy Leslie. All 3 of these cars have been in the chase today. Ward Burton coming back on track after another pit stop.
Yeah, now Grissom has ran this group down and worked his way around them. And now it seems that once he got around them, they're running his pace. They're able to stay with him now.
You know, too, Phil's got a good car today. We haven't talked much about him. He hasn't been in our focus much, but he's run steady top 5 here pretty much since the start of this race. There's Parsons. I'd like to be a 10-year-old kid with a Matchbox car that was that fast.
That's right.
Be nice.
Matchbox sponsorship on the car. It's a pretty good sized toy.
I'd say.
You know, a lot of times you can get out there and you start losing ground and somebody will pass you, and you'll watch what he's doing and where he's getting on the throttle and everything, where he's pulling away, and you can adjust your driving style and get going pretty good following somebody that is getting around a little quicker than you.
Tracy Leslie must have just took your advice. He followed Parsons for a minute. Here he goes, buddy. He's going right on around him.
So Grissom is 5th. There's his progress through this race. Steve started in 12th, up to 10th by lap 55. Now to 5th place. .111 of 200 laps. As he moves around Ward Burton, here's the race for 2nd place.
Neil, you can see Todd closing in there, getting in the corner, but I think that loose condition's keeping him from coming off the corner quite as fast as he'd like to.
You're right, buddy. When that car's that loose, like you know yourself, once you stand in that throttle, you got to roll out of it a little bit, just pull the back end up on the car. So he's able to catch him, but until they get that chassis sorted out a little bit better, it's going to be tough to pass anybody.
We're told that Tommy Houston has dropped a cylinder. Houston had run up here. He's still in the top 5. He's the 4th place car right now. How much progress he's able to maintain.
I tell you, this is a crazy racetrack. It takes a lot of horsepower to run around it, but as the tires get hot, then you got to start disciplining yourself not to spin the tires, not to run too hard. And I've been up here before and lost a cylinder, could almost run the same speed. And you say, man, well, why didn't I do that earlier? But sometimes you can still crank out some good laps at this place when the engine's off a little bit.
They think perhaps a plug wire may have come off Tommy Houston's car. That's the chatter on the radio back and forth between he and his pit. Now, if they stopped at lap 78, that last caution flag, could they go the distance, 122 laps?
It's going to be just close enough. Yeah. It could be real exciting. With these 6-cylinders, they got a shot at it. Not only do they have these little 6-cylinder, Mike, they got a little 390 carburetor. They run a 4-barrel carburetor, but that little 390's got real small Venturis and all in it, real small airflow, so they get good mileage.
Race back for 10th spot here, Neil. Jimmy Spencer, that blue and yellow Jack Ingram car, and Terry Labonte, his own Chevrolet. They are racing for 10th place. And Rick Wilson off the pace.
Well, I don't see any oil smoke out of Terry's car anymore, but
he's either fixed it or he's out of oil. I'm not sure which it is. But if it's out of oil, we'll find out here in just a minute.
Yeah.
I think what happens is, in case like he's falling way off the pace, sometimes you can back the pace down on the car, not really punish the engine, not really turn those big RPMs, and it won't smoke as bad. That might be the case.
Spencer, you saw they're moving up. That's going to be a good race in just a second for about 8th place. You're 2nd and 3rd again.
Which has been a good race for 20 laps.
Yeah.
Just, you know, Bodine can catch him. And I think Buddy hit the nail on the head, that loose condition. You see him close in right here, but the 99 usually beats him up off the corner a little bit.
Well, right there, that car gets a little light coming up to the straightaway, and that's where you have your problem. Now, he can drive in and catch. You see him close in there a little, now you'll lose a little distance coming out.
And what's bad about with that loose condition, you need to turn left to drive up beside that guy. That loose condition, you turn it left, it will definitely turn left, but it'll go backwards also.
Tommy Houston having a bit of a problem as Rick Wilson goes to the garage area. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, the problem on Houston's car may not be as serious as we thought. I talked to Scott Houston, Tommy's son in Brucey. Scott, what seems to be the problem with the car?
Well, he said it acted like it went down on the cylinder, and we've been noticing it sparking.
Tommy talking to us.
I would hope that it would have a hole in the header from the rubbing down here, but I don't think that's it. It sounds like a valve spring or something. It lost about 600 RPM.
Well, at first, Scott told me he didn't think it was too serious, and it might have rubbed a hole as the car bottoms out going into the corner, but now he says he does think it's a cylinder problem, so he is down on power.
You can see there Tracy Leslie just going by him with no effort down the straightaway, and that wouldn't happen.
Back up at second spot. It's still single file, but oh so close as they lap past Bobby Dotter. Bodine is not riding there. You see him look for any little opportunity to get around Craven, but Ricky is not giving him anything.
Well, we know that Bodine's loose, but we don't know that Craven's not a little bit loose himself, so.
Good point. 120 laps are complete here at Dover Downs, 80 to go. There's your leader, Joe Nemechek. And here's your top 5 back through Tracy Leslie. Good battle shaping up for about 8th spot. Bring it to you in a moment. Dover Downs, Delaware, 75 laps to go. You see that second place has changed hands. You know, Clyde's got a TNN hat. Glenn, you just got to tell him you cannot pass during commercial. The fans will not stand for that. So what we do is we tape all the stuff that happens during commercial.
What's this little love tap here? Whoops. Oh. By the time you get your breath back, he goes on the inside there and takes the spot.
Yeah, he got it rubbed up against him a little bit, slid him over, got by, but he also did a little bit of damage to the front of that car. It looked like he rolled the grill back in a little bit, but track this size, it shouldn't hurt it too much.
Well, now, what do you think? Was Ricky holding him up? I mean, by the way, he's moved away from Craven, maybe, but
well, I'll tell you what, if you ask Bodine, Ricky was holding him up. If you ask Ricky, Bodine ran over him. So you go ask either one you want to.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what's so busy, we could call him and ask.
That's right. Moving around Hermie Sadler underneath the 55 of Tim Speedway. And there's a lot of smoke from Tommy Houston's car.
I was going to say a while ago, when you have that valve spring trouble and it starts hammering away,
trouble
yellow flag.
Somebody up in the wall. Is that Rick? No, Nemechek.
Oh, leader.
And he stopped in.
I can't help but believe it might have been something that come out of Houston's car. Houston looked like he was pumping stuff out coming down pit road. And Nemechek might have got down into the oil.
How'd that song go? Does chewing gum lose its flavor on the cement wall overnight?
That's not the way it goes.
No. It's a good thing, too, because that would not have been a hit.
Ooh, look at this car.
That's a hit.
Oh, it's a shame, leaving the race.
That should have been a miss. Did you ever have a season where you had that kind of luck where everything would go your way until...
What do you... I had a career like that.
Season. No, you didn't. 100 top 3 finishes. You didn't have a career like that.
Well, 6 cars back out running again. I thought when he turned up pit road, I thought that was the end of the day for him.
You know, he might have stayed out waiting for the caution to stay on the lead lap.
Exactly what happened. I think he's riding right now because he is backed off, but that car was definitely smoking. Something that got down on the pistons there.
Joe Nemechek was leading this race by 5.5 seconds when Calamity struck down in turns 1 and 2. Here's what happened. A lot of smoke. Don't know really if there's anything going down on the racetrack, but a lot of smoke.
Yeah, see, that was coming off of turn 2. He's coming down the back straightaway right there. Nemechek's problem was up in the middle of turn 1 and 2.
That's a lot of smoke there.
Here's Nemechek going down in the corner right here. Ooh, almost saw some, looked like smoke coming out of the other car.
Joe Bessie.
Joe Bessie was putting down some liquid it looked like or something.
Boy, oh
out
boy.
the right rear.
I tell you, this man's lucky right here, too.
Kept on driving it until it wouldn't drive anymore.
You know, as Bessie's car went off in the corner, it did look like it had a little bit of smoke or something on the right rear. We'll take a look after a while and see if we can find out.
Everybody's on pit road for what could be their final stop of the day. Craven and Bodine, and Craven beats Bodine out. Defending series champion Joe Nemechek came in here 221 points behind Steve Grissom for the point lead and 74 points out of second.
Man.
That's Vic Kangas on the radio to his driver, just stepping over the jack. And some of Wally Dallenbach's Winston Cup crew going to try to help get this car back in the race.
Here goes the replay. You see Joe following Joe Bessie down in the corner. Now watch his car just start loose right here. That was some moisture or something on the racetrack because he just lost all grip there going in the corner.
Let's go down to Randy.
Well, Joe's sitting in the car. They've got the car jacked up. It looks like they're talking about possible broken shocks. the major damage in the rear, the left rear. I mean, he really nailed it hard. They're going to have to fix the filler neck as far as where the fuel goes in this automobile. I'll tell you, they're in here for a long time. We're talking about broken shocks, the front end's out of alignment. Just a terrible, disappointing day. I have not had a chance to ask his mom or any of the crew members if he said anything yet, because as soon as he hit, man, they were scurrying. So I'll try and get a word with them and find out exactly what happened, but definitely a major league trouble for Joe Nemechek.
Okay, Randy, they will have to fuel that car probably to give him enough gas to go the distance based on when that last pit stop was, so they've got quite a bit of work to do to get him back out there.
The problem is there's no filler there to fill it up, so they're going to have to go inside the trunk there to get the filler neck where they can fill it up.
Let's try to get word with Joe. Joe, this is TNN. What happened down in turn 1?
No, I don't know. They just told me Tommy Houston blew a motor down there. I was trying to get past the lap car there, and they were making me run pretty hard, and I got up underneath, and all of a sudden the car broke loose. I don't know why it broke loose, so I imagine we got in a little bit of oil there. You know, it's just a shame. That team Chevrolet was running good today, and it's just tough. You know, we had a good lead there, and we thought this was going to be the race we were going to win, but that wasn't the case.
Sorry you had trouble with it. We'll hope you get back out there, and thanks for speaking with us.
We need to take that tire back off. We need more clearance.
Tommy Houston's car has gone behind the wall. Scott Houston and crew pushing it along.
Right then, we heard Nemechek's crew say we need to take that tire back off and get you some more clearance, so gotta get out and get points.
Let's go to Glenn. He's down by Tommy Houston, I believe.
Well, they've just pulled Tommy Houston's car in the garage here. Tommy, what happened? Do you know?
Glenn, it broke something out of the center of the Rosie store Ford, and you know, the doggone thing was really running good. I hated to fall out of this race, but you know, it's one of them things that happens. And I'd like to say hi to Martha's dad, who's he's in real bad shape back in Bethlehem, down in North Carolina.
Well, one more quick question. There's some speculation that you might have dumped some oil on the racetrack there. Did anything come out of your car? Do you know?
No. We didn't lose any oil. It just evidently it's got down in the valves, and that's where the smoke was coming from. But no, we didn't lose any oil. We still had oil pressure, and all the gauges looked good. Just when those particles went down, it bent a bunch of valves, and it caused it to smoke and slow down, and we can't keep going with her.
Well, I got to agree with him. There is no oil anywhere on this race car, Mike.
Well, thanks, Glenn. Also, Joe Nemechek was in a lane higher than where most of the traffic was running. Something could have been dumped there a little bit earlier. We may get one to go this time. Talk to Ricky Craven for a word as they're going to get him one to go. Ricky, this TNN, one to go. Have you got enough to keep that red car in your mirror?
Yeah, I think so. It does start to rain. He stands the lead anyway, but just see what you got there. Good. I'm going to owe him one after this is over.
He's talking to his crew. And
I think he's a little disappointed with somebody. That's something that happened a little earlier.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure when he said I'm going to owe him one. I'm not so sure he doesn't mean the pit crew for getting him in and out so good too. He was either upset or was tickled with the way the pit crew got him in and out. But
well, they did make a big difference because Bodine, we saw live, had a full head of steam coming down pit lane as much as the speed limit would allow. Craven's crew got him done, and he got out there into line, and he's the leader.
Also, something you heard him tell the drivers, there's not going to be any stroking because they told him it looks like it might rain again. And it is getting a lot more overcast again, so these guys are going to sprint the rest of the way.
Going to get green this time. How about it, Glenn? Are you getting any raindrops down there? Glenn's a conversation down.
No, there is no rain yet, no.
Okay, thanks.
I think his crew's just concerned like we are. You can see how dark it's getting. And they're telling him, hey, look, if you can go, let's check out.
Well, we've raced the rain all day to get this race started. Looks like we may race it to get it through. Ricky Craven leads Todd Bodine, Steve Grissom, Jeff Burton, and Terry Labonte. That's your top five. Sixth is Jimmy Spencer. Seventh, Tracy Leslie. Eighth is Jack Sprague. And ninth, David Green. Craven got a good scoot away on the restart.
There we see Labonte. Right back in
Terry
the
moved back up again.
Yep.
There it goes smoking, too. That'll not last long.
Jimmy Spencer's going to love that. All over his windshield.
See, here's Labonte picking the pace up again, really running the car hard, and the smoke starts boiling out of it.
And Jeff Burton in the high line backs up just a bit there.
Yeah,
and loses 2 spots.
And you see the starters on the flag stand looking at that car with that smoke.
Joe Nemechek running for parts as the crew tries to get him back out there.
I got to tell you something, and Neil knows this too, and everybody that's ever had an engine go, they don't smoke because it's air. It's oil that makes that smoke.
Black flag light is on for Terry Labonte.
Yeah, they're going, you know, the thing just putting out so much right now, they're gonna bring him in.
Running in fourth place, but that smoke is a problem.
When he was running his other pace, I believe he could have got away with it, but when he picked it up, started blowing smoke.
Look at Grissom. We just, you know, he just like a ghost almost. All of a sudden he appears, you know. There he is.
There's Nemechek. He's working on shocks.
He works on that car week long, as does his brother. He's been in the pits now for 6 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's not the most fun way to work on one. Those brake rotors are hot and everything on the car is cooking. And, yeah, there comes Labonte in. They had to honor that black flag.
Terry Labonte, the pole sitter, drops it down to the apron. And is going to ride a bit down low. They wanted him out of the way of the leaders. He has done that. So NASCAR may allow to leave him on the racetrack. No lights going back up.
Just went it back up.
Yeah.
Labonte's probably being smart and waiting to see if he can bide his time in case a caution comes out real quick. The minute these leaders lap him, he'll probably come on in.
You get 3 laps to obey that black flag, and then they pull your scoring card.
Well, they'll give you a black flag again, but they have little white X's on it. That means you can race as long as you want to. We're not going to count.
But we don't care. Right.
Look at that grill area. We talked earlier, some damage on Bodine in the red car. He did punch that grill back a little bit when he got into the back of Craven earlier.
Now, you see an incident like when Todd Bodine got into the back of Ricky Craven. And it could have been he got into him. It could have been maybe Ricky didn't get as good a run off that corner as you thought. Todd came up on him quickly. There's a lot of things that could have happened there other than the obvious.
Neil, a lot of times you can come off that corner and the front end start pushing. You just give it a back out of the throttle just a little bit and the second car is right on top of you.
Yeah, you both make a commitment off that corner. If one of you has to lift for any reason, it's going to stack them up.
61 laps to go. There's your front 3. Took a long day to get here, but it's a great race here at Dover Downs. Car in the wall, turn 3. Rodney Combs in the wall at the 3rd corner, and he's going to park it up there, and one car slides up and just misses him. The 91 of Steve Perry.
That car would hit if he would have said, "Hi in the world, I'm up here stopping, somebody come got me."
Caution is out. Back to the yellow flag come Craven and Bodine. Grissom backs out of the throttle. And we're under yellow for the 6th time today. We'll be back to Dover Downs. 60 laps to go. Right after this word. 57 laps to go here at Dover Downs. I'm Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett, Randy Pemberton down in the pits. Looks like we may get a lap to go here and get ready to go green. Ricky Craven is out front. The rest of the leaders chose to pit, and now they're getting assigned one to go. Ricky, this is TNN. The fellas behind you elected to pit, and you elected to stay out. Why?
Well, the stopwatch says that the DuPont Chevrolet is running just as fast as it was at the beginning of the race. We slowed down a little bit on the second set, but I feel pretty good that we can still hang on and win this thing.
Okay, good luck. See how that strategy plays out here. Todd Bodine came to the pits. David Green, Steve Grissom. Most of the leaders pitted.
Well, that's a good idea. When you relay on that stopwatch, sometimes you put a set of tires on it and it just won't run the kind of lap speeds. He's satisfied with what he's got.
All right, the cars that did not pit were Craven, Leslie, Jack Sprague in 3rd, David Green in 4th, and Mike Wallace in 5th did not pit.
The one thing that Ricky has going for him right now is the 3 cars behind him did not stop, and it's going to take Todd a little time to get by those guys.
Now make that 5 cars behind him. Joe Bessie, I don't believe, stopped either in the 97 car. He is 6th.
The key cars that stopped was the car of Grissom and of Todd Bodine.
Right.
They stopped to put new tires on. So,
and they are they're 7th and 8th.
Yeah, can they get through this traffic and get back to the 99 quick enough?
Neil, if it was 10 or 12 laps to go, I'd say no, but we've got 55 laps to run if Mother Nature will let us get them all in. Let's find out.
Todd Bodine is not wasting any time. That's him on the inside.
They're going in.
And a little bit of smoke there. I think Grissom's right front got into the back of Roy Payne there, or rather Joe Bessie. For the lead. Craven has it. Tracy Leslie wants it. And takes it.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, Leslie been, right in the hunt, but I didn't think he had the muscle right there just to drive around Craven.
I don't think Craven thought so either. Jack Sprague in 3rd. Good run for the Staff America car.
It almost looks like the 99 lost something on that restart. And someone else fixed to get
it
right.
It does.
Yeah, Jack Sprague's coming up underneath him there. Couldn't quite make the pass down the straightaway.
Had a look that time. the Detroit Gaskets Chevrolet Ron Parker car for Tracy Leslie out of Mount Clemens, Michigan, with one Busch Series win. Leslie out front, Craven in second, Sprague in third, fourth, Todd Bodine. Or excuse me, David Green. David Green in fourth in the 44, the Slim Jim car. Todd Bodine now in fifth.
Yeah, but he's got some lap traffic in between him. That was giving a little bit. No, I'm sorry, there's a 9 car there. Yep. Bodine's got that lap traffic to work with. He's got Hermie Sadler and the 9 car also, along with Donner up there. Looks like there's several cars to work with.
And the 9 car, Mike Wallace, that's for position. That's 5th place right there. The FDP brakes car, very own machine.
Todd went in there deep enough. Look at him trying to pass on the outside here, boy. If he gets that one done, he's done something.
Well, he looks like he's going to make it around there, buddy.
Yeah.
You're sure relying on another driver to give you that room on that outside. Ooh, it's a little bit high right there for both of them. Got to get out there in no man's land. You got to tiptoe back around.
Good hard racing, and here comes Steve Grissom. Grissom, the Channel Lock Chevy had to look way down on the bottom. They're running 3 seconds behind the leader.
Now Grissom's going to try it down on the inside. They will get around Todd right here.
By the time they get to Rick and Craven, they're going to be on used tires too, the way they're racing.
And Craven's having to pick up the pace pretty good. Leslie's making him work awful hard. Then got Jack Sprague right behind him. Like the complexion changing a lot.
And this race is for 5th.
There's Grissom. He's wanting to take that inside away.
Whoa, well, Grissom's already passed Todd Bodine. Ooh, easy, guys.
Now Todd's going to try to go along with the same pass. He tried the outside. He couldn't do it.
Works better on the inside.
Yeah, and if there's a mistake, you got a bank shot.
Yep. Right behind them, Joe Bessie and Phil Parsons and Jimmy Spencer. First, second, third. Nothing changing there. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, guys, I've been watching the 74 car of Jack Sprague. Right now, he is one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. Interestingly enough, early on in the race, in one of those early crashes, he got bumped by a car, knocked the toe in out. They brought it in, restrung it under caution, reset the toe in. Since then, he has been steadily marching through the field. His crew's really excited, and he's really got a good car in there right now. I think he's got a shot at this thing.
Well, they should be excited, Glenn. His best finish at Dover, 20th in 91, and his best finish this year, 9th place twice. A good run for Jack Sprague.
What they need to do is, after this race, is check the toe in and see where it happens to be and reset it
every week. Best career finish, 2nd on the Radford, Virginia, 1992. He's closing in on Craven.
You know, people don't know there's draft on a mile racetrack. These guys are catching the leader again. They're moving in on Tracy Leslie.
Jack Sprague, 55 laps ago, was back in 11th. Worked his way up to 3rd. He was aided in that quest when many of the leaders pitted on this last caution flag at lap 142.
I tell you, some tracks, like a place like Dover, you can tow the car out a little bit more and really make it cut better in the corner. And they might have hit on something that's going to help them.
I think they did.
Literally.
Yes. Now Steve Grissom leads this pack of cars off the corner for 5th place. And it's a pack. Todd Bodine is 6th. Mike Wallace there is 7th. Bill Parsons is 8th. Jimmy Spencer is 9th. A couple of lap cars. Hermie Sadler and Bobby Dotter in amongst that race from 5th through 9th, all in that one pack.
Boy, oh boy, Todd Bodine's car is handling now. Look at him move in on Grissom.
Longer they run, buddy, the better his car seems to work.
I think he made an adjustment for that loose condition on last stop, and he really is getting out of the corner now.
Grissom's car doesn't seem to be too much of a slouch. I think really getting off that corner is pretty good itself.
5th and 6th right here. Sadler, by the way, is 1 lap down. He is 13th. And he and Donner are a lap apart, we're told. Well, I gets right up to Steve Grissom.
We saw him do this before with the 99 car. Craven just keep working on him, working on him, working on him. Then he was able to get by. You just got to keep that continuous pressure there.
Leader, Tracy Leslie.
And guess who's coming?
Ricky Craven and Jack Sprague. Sprague's crew chief in that 74 car, Stevie Bird, who's crew chief for 89 Busch champ Rob Moroso, and has put a lot of guys in victory lane in this series.
Good chassis, man. Had a lot of young guys. Really helped him in racing. Boy, Leslie, once he got that lead, you know, I thought something happened to Craven and he might come right back. But 72 car staying out there.
And Bodine makes the pass on Steve Grissom. Now the question is, what do they lack to the leaders? That's how much difference making that pit stop has worked out to be.
The only thing they do, Mike, like you're talking about, with 50 laps to go a while ago, they might not do it in a big hurry, but if things play out, those lead guys should have those tires worn down a lot more by the end, and it should come to them the longer they run. Todd Bodine is 4.6 seconds behind the race leader, Tracy Leslie. There's a look back as he's pulling up on Tom Peck and on David Green, the 5th place car. Joe Nemechek behind the wall, 18 minutes, 50 seconds. He is back out, putting on laps and trying to put up some points. Was leading the race by 5 seconds when he slid into the turn 2 wall. Racing going to have to slap you in the face every now and then. By the time you think you got it going your way, something crazy happened there. When Nemechek looked like a good chance to win, just riding now.
Watch Todd Bodine's car come up out of the corner, but he just drives by people like it's stops.
Meanwhile, the leaders have gotten into tail-ending traffic here. We passed Pat Davison of Dover.
That was
pizza wagon.
You know, Mike, that was the strong suit of Ricky Craven in traffic earlier.
Yes.
He took a lot of chances. He jumped around in that traffic good. The car works well. You can take chances.
Here they come. Now it's 3.8 seconds. And look at him move up on David Green.
That's what I was talking about a while ago. I was watching the race, folks. I wasn't watching the monitor.
That's no lapped car, folks. That's the 4th place machine.
That's right.
Slim Jim Chevy of David Green. Well, it's been quite a weekend for the Bodines. We're back up front. And Craven pulling back in on Tracy Leslie.
Yeah, the lap before, Mike, they were in some heavy traffic. Craven got right up on the back bumper. Just couldn't quite get around it.
And Jack Sprague looking on from 3rd. His best run of the season. There's Jack Sprague. First and second. And that gap back to Bodine. Here he comes into the picture now, just 2.8 seconds. There he is.
He's coming. You know, he was racing right there with Grissom. He's pulled away from Grissom, so he's on the move.
34 laps to go.
And this is no fiddle faddle. This car is flying. I couldn't pass that up.
There's Grissom. He got caught behind these cars. Where Bodine was able to make the pass, Grissom's got hung up behind some of these guys. Can't get around them.
Steve Grissom now 6th. David Green, the 44, 2nd in points and 5th in today's race thus far.
You know, Mike, we talk about how some of these guys kind of take a little bit of a chance in traffic and pass. Well, Grissom might not have that luxury. Here he is, lead the points situation. Right. He says he wants to win races, but you also got to think about that championship.
Todd Bodine. It's been quite a weekend for the family. He's now within 2 seconds of the race leader. Oldest brother Jeff took over the seat of the number 7 Kulwicki Racing car that he has purchased, that team. So Jeff will drive that the rest of the season, beginning tomorrow when we bring you the Splitfire Sparkplug 500 live. Brett Bodine hit the wall yesterday, broke his wrist, and likely will not start tomorrow's race. Todd Bodine running down the leaders here. 32 laps, or rather 31 laps to go. Here's Jack Sprague making a run on Ricky Craven. 2nd place.
You know, we heard the 99 car. Craven had a lot of confidence on that restart. I guess he's just as surprised as we are that the car is not at the speed it was earlier.
Wow, look who come in the picture there as we were talking. There's Bodine going down under him, going in the corner.
Man.
Made it look easy.
He's going to do this in a hurry.
Whoop. Yeah, he made her.
Well, there's your front 4. Todd Bodine trying to do the Dover double. He won here in June, as you watch from Ricky Craven's car.
Yeah, it's not going to take long for him to work on Sprague. He's running him down in 1 lap from a good way back. So.
Each of these teams, of course, with spotters. You can tell their driver the progress of everybody else, so it'll be no surprise to Jack Sprague or Tracy Leslie, but Todd Bodine is on the move. 30 laps to go. Here's the way they're running. We'll be right back to Dover Down. Well, we hated to leave when the racing was this good up front, but we didn't want you to miss the battle for first and second, and here it is. Clyde's got his hat on straight now. He told Todd, don't make that move till we get back from commercial.
Boy, oh boy, right on cue, too. I'm telling you, that car is flying. I'm guaranteeing you one thing. They're saying what I'd give to have new tires like he's got now.
Yeah, it's hard to pass that opportunity when you put some new rubber on those cars. You just about have to do it because it'll cost you down the line.
But look at the drivers who've led this race and what has happened to them. Terry Labonte sat on the pole, had trouble with his car, and now Tracy Leslie. Just watch Todd Bodine go right around. That's the 11th lead change, and that's a record for the fall race here.
Mike, there wasn't a thing he could do about it because he had radioed to his crew. Tracy Leslie had that he's loose, and I'm going to tell you, that's like trying to run Martinsville with no brakes when you get loose at Dover.
The only way all you can do is just lift a little bit early, then, or it's going to get out from under you. When you lift, that other guy's going to drive right by.
But everybody that's led this race has had trouble. Labonte had that oil leak. Nemechek got into the wall. Ricky Craven stayed out. Rodney Combs, the engine locked up. Tracy Leslie and Todd Bodine are the remainers with 22 laps to go. And a battle tightening up here.
Yeah, Grissom was able to get around Green, and that's important in that points battle.
5th place in the race.
Not only that, he's on new tires too, and I guarantee you second and third's got to think about it. He's sitting there with the same kind of tires Todd Bodine had.
And he's got 20 laps to do something. Up and above 6th place where he sits right now.
Well, I'll tell you, Bodine, once he got around him, he checked out.
Paid the bill, turned in the key, headed down the road. Bodine's the leader. Tracy Leslie is 2nd. Jack Sprague is 3rd. Ricky Craven 4th. David Green is 5th.
Jimmy Spencer seems to be running well now. I see him 3rd in that line there. I tell you, that car's working a lot better. They've adjusted on it the whole race, trying to get it right.
Good to see that Jack Ingram team have a good day. Shopper Food Warehouse Pontiac for Spencer, the 2-time national modified champ out of Pennsylvania. Here's your Napa Field Standing Update, brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Chuck Bound and Nemechek both back out there with damaged race cars. Nemechek was 3rd in points coming into today, and Bound was 5th.
Boy, Spencer got up in it. He was able to get up on the inside of Green, but ran up on that lap trap. He couldn't do anything with it. Look how much ground it cost him to have to lift just for a second.
These cars are a lap down. 12 cars are on the lead lap here. It's getting so dark toward the end of the day here. We may not have Winston Cup practice after this race for tomorrow's 500.
No, they were able to, after qualifying this morning, do a little bit of practice. And then after second round qualifying, they didn't get to run anymore, so they might not have that chance.
I tell you, David Green looks like he might have something for Grissom before this thing's over. They've raced really hard for the point championship this year, and they are battling right now.
They came in here 155 points apart. They both led at different times during the season.
I tell you what, every week it seems like a new thing. How about the Winston Cup race tomorrow? People need to listen in. We got driver changes. Plus, we got some new teams going to different manufacturers, switching over from brands. So, a lot of things in the works for the Winston Cup show tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day. 3 major driver changes.
That's when some guys changing brands.
Right. Battle for 3rd. Ricky Craven has come back up to Jack Sprague as they lap past Randy McDonald. Here's Glenn.
Well, guys, I'll move back to the Jack Sprague pit and talk to Steve Bird, the crew chief. Jack has seemed to fall back a little bit. His problem is he got into the wall coming off of 4. He was really trying hard to get to second place, and he just drove it off the corner a little hard. They say the car seems to be okay, but it's dropped off about a quarter of a second per lap. Right now, he's just trying to hold off Ricky Craven, hang on to 3rd. Still a pretty good day for him.
Craven's trying hard, though.
You know what he's thinking, Neil? Did I hit that thing hard enough with that right rear to rub on that tire, or have I done something to make the car unsafe?
Yeah, everybody says you just barely hit the wall. You don't barely hit it here.
No.
Glanson blows a pretty good shot.
That's the race for 3rd. Craven and Sprague. Tracy Leslie in 2nd, about 3.5 seconds behind the leader. Here's the man that turns the wrenches and calls the shots for Todd Bodine. Clyde McLeod out of Southington, Connecticut. Home of legendary modified ace Eddie Flemke. Todd's wife, Lynn.
Almost looks like she's putting everything up, getting ready for victory.
Not yet.
Let's don't say that. Oh, boy.
This is where Bodine first tasted victory on the Busch circuit. Remember that race under caution? What was it first? Davey Allison and Ernie Irvin, one broke, one run out of gas, and Todd won the race.
They had a tremendous race all day, but it looked like he was in trouble there, and everybody started going out every different direction right near the end of the race there.
Then he came back here in June, proved it was no fluke as he won convincingly, as he's attempting to do right now.
Now, he's taking a good, safe line. He's not pinching the car going through the corner and all. He's built up a good lead.
Race for 5th. There is Sprague. And David Green coming up. And Steve Grissom. And Jimmy Spencer. Well, this will get interesting.
Here comes Jimmy on the inside. He didn't quite have enough to get up under Green. But he'll try every way there is to make a pass.
If he has it, he'll find it.
I'll tell you, before this gets over with, the 99 car is reeling in the 72 of Tracy Leslie, so that's going to enter into it too. There's several good races right here at the end.
9 laps to go. David Green scoots a bit high as they lap past Lassiter. Here comes Spencer. Nope, not that time. And Grissom's having a look at Jack Sprague right there. Ooh, Jimmy. Chuck Bound, what's left of, rather, Joe Nemechek's car.
If they bump him in the rear, they're going to hit the gas tank. There's nothing else back there.
Big bar in front of it, that's it. Spencer trying for one last run, 8 laps to go. That's got to be tough. You're sitting in 6th, or rather 7th place there, and you can see 4th, and it's only 100 feet ahead of you.
No, but that's a lot of real estate.
Yeah. 7-second lead for Todd Bodine. That's why Clyde McLeod didn't look too concerned.
Look at this, here's Craven moving up on Tracy Leslie.
You know, we had a call about 15 laps ago. Leslie said his car was loose. If it was loose 15 ago, buddy, he is real loose now. So
oh, yeah.
Craven's got a shot to make a run at him.
2 good battles on the racetrack for 2nd and for 5th. From Ricky Craven's 3rd place car.
Here goes the roller coaster ride down in 1. Just fall off the top of that straightaway down in that hole.
Let's go back to that battle where Jimmy Spencer's working on David Green. That's for 6th. Jack Sprague in 4th. Grissom 5th. Green 6th and Spencer 7th.
Well, if he slips a little bit, I know Spencer, he'll be up under him faster than you can think about it.
I think Spencer's even thinking about that outside. He took a peek at that outside one time.
5 to go.
Sprague better watch this little move, too.
Yeah.
No, not quite. Up, here comes Spencer on the inside.
Here's a lap car.
No room. Oh, senor.
I'll tell you what, the Spencer did back out there and give him that room.
Yep.
That's maturity there.
Well, plus 2. He doesn't run every race in this series. He knows he's running up against the 2-point leaders. Kind of like sharks and lawyers. Professional courtesy at work there.
Plus, it hurts when you wreck it as well.
Second place.
Boy, oh boy.
3 to go.
Leslie moved any at all in the corner. He's going to lose the spot here.
If Tracy Leslie's car is loose, if Craven can get just close enough, get 5 or 6 foot back, he'll really loosen him up.
Todd Bodine and Howland can afford to crack a smile. 2 laps to go.
He'll really smile better next lap.
Got a 9-second lead. Second place, 2 car lengths. Oh, might as well be 2 laps.
Yeah, Craven must have tried something there and lost some ground to him. Will 6-cylinder's groaning up through here.
Yep, audio courtesy Buddy Baker.
Yes, that's it.
What was that now?
I practiced karaoke later.
Okay. White flag for Todd Bodine. He's going to cruise around and win it. But who will be second and who will be fourth? Second place, Tracy Leslie. Ricky Craven trying for one last run at him. Less than a car length.
Ricky's giving it everything. Look at Spencer. He got up under Grissom there.
Sixth place to Jimmy Spencer. Bodine, checkered flag. He'll win it for second place.
Oh, here they come.
Ricky Craven and
they go. They touched. Craven got him up. Tracy hit the inside.
And Jack Sprague held off David Green. What a finish for second spot. Tracy Leslie and Ricky Craven.
Boy, oh boy. They were side by side coming up off turn 3 and 4.
This fella never saw it.
He was knocking it out of gear coasting in.
You know, they were just racing hard and the two got together. Nobody really meant to do anything wrong.
7th career win for Todd Bodine. We'll meet him in victory lane after this. Here's a look at Tracy Leslie's car down at turn number 1. He's climbed out of it. They're trying to hook it up to haul it back to the garage area. They were racing for second place, Leslie and Ricky Craven. Final lap from turn 1.
Boy, Tracy got in the outside wall there and come off the wall and touched Craven. That's what set this up. And now he's coming across. He's in big trouble there. There's nothing he can do to save it from hitting the inside wall.
That's a pretty good steel plate there. He put a bend in, too.
Shoved it back a bit, but he was up in the outside wall. It looked like before they made contact. Hard to tell.
Yeah, he did definitely touch the outside wall.
Got a couple different angles to show you.
Okay, coming through the corner.
Ooh, loose.
Looked like he got a little bit high right there.
See the car hit right there, the smoke flies,
yeah.
And then he come over and got into the side of Craven.
Looked like he did, you know, get the car a little bit high off the corner, touch the wall, and then they did make contact after that.
You know, Neil, they were talking about that car being loose, and on that last lap, he had to let her all go.
All right, let's show you what Ricky Craven saw.
You know, he sees the door open right there. He's on the inside to make the pass.
See him hit the wall right there. The car takes a jiggle and comes across.
Yep.
And Craven's able to drive on through it. Let's show you that first angle one more time and see where the first contact was.
Boom, right there.
Yeah, into the first into the wall.
Yeah.
And then back out into Ricky Craven.
Watch this inside wall. Watch when he comes across. Now, that's solid steel plate with steel bars behind it. Watch when he hits this thing, the new bend he puts in it. Wham!
You got to understand, he's sitting right there, too.
That's right. The wall's had a few wrinkles, and now it's got one more, a big one. The wrinkles on the face of Todd Bodine, though, are all smiles, and we'll be there in a moment. First, we're going to go down with Ricky Craven. Second place finisher, here's Randy.
Ricky Craven, first of all, I just went and checked on Tracy Leslie. He's sitting up. He's watching the replay before you'll get a chance to see it, but a great race for you.
Yeah, I'm glad it's all right. It was a good race, and I thought we were going to get that third win, you know, for in the Busch Grand National deal. And DuPont, Chevrolet, these guys that have been supporting me, I really appreciate it. We came a little short, but we're going to get them. You know, we're getting better every week, and we elected to take on lefts instead of rights at the end, and it was a gamble. Could have paid off. It gave us great track position, but we ended up second.
Maybe you learned something on that one. Todd did it in about 20 laps and really came on quick.
Oh, he came on, and, you know, it's just experience. Todd's doing a great job, and, of course, he's going cup racing next year, and that's where I want to be in a year or two. So a few more runs like here at Dover today, and I think we're going to get there.
Congratulations on a great run. Glenn?
Well, not quite as much excitement or excitement of a different kind down here, Todd, but this is getting to be a habit meeting you in Winter Circle here.
Yeah, I tell you, I lumped over. You know, I got my first win here at Dover. Didn't really get a good one. A good friend of ours, I was running second, and Davey ran out of gas, and I ended up winning the race. This one's for Davey, and this one's for Brett. Hope you're feeling better, Brett.
Well, Todd's got to go run his Winston Cup car. Lynn, his wife stepping here. I know you love meeting your husband here in this place, don't you?
I tell you what, it's gotten to be a nice sight. I just hope we can start doing it in the other division. Fiddle Faddle Chevrolet was great. RUS has worked real well with us, and Frank and Scott and Jeff Welliver and the Gittlers, we really appreciate all they've done for us.
Should have been here, Scotty.
One quick question. When you made that late pit stop, put on the tires, did you ever second guess yourself, or did you know you could get back there?
No, I thought I messed up. Clyde said, do what you think is right, and I just took the shot, and everybody followed me but Ricky, and then when we got going green, they come on the radio and said they're talking about cutting it short 15 minutes ago, and it really pissed me off, and I had to run hard, but you know, we ended up running the whole distance.
He ran the whole distance, and he ran it first. Mike?
Well, he ran it fast enough that there was no need to cut it short. Glenn did quite a job. Todd Bodine wins it. Ricky Craven is second. Tracy Leslie third. Jack Sprague, David Green, the top five. We'll have more from Dover Down right after this. Sports live exclusive coverage of the Splitfire Sparkplug 200 has been brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light.
Tracy Leslie, out of the Infield Care Center, you're okay, first of all.
Yeah, we're okay. Just, you know, I knew I didn't have a shot at Todd. He just come in and got them fresh tires. We stayed out. We had a good car. You know, we dropped back there at the beginning just to sort the car out, and we were good, you know, yesterday on old tires, and I knew we'd be good today, but maybe we should have just pitted, you know, but we kept Detroit Gasket looming up front and, you know, led some laps here, and maybe we gained a few more points, and just showing how this team's coming along, and, you know, we get there.
That's a tough way to get a third, though, man. When did you know you lost it?
Well, you know, I went into turn one, and I said, you know, I got to cover that bottom because I think Ricky was pulling just a little bit taller gear than I was, and I had to keep him pinched off on the bottom, and I come off or went down into three, and I kept it down on the bottom, and it just started pushing up towards the top, and I got in the gas a little too hard and got up into the slick stuff and touched the wall there, and, you know, come together with Ricky. But, you know, we got a third out of it. I hope the car ain't too bad hurt, but
glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Mike Joy?
Randy, tell him he picked up 2 spots in the points. He's going to be into the top 10 as Sears Craftsman, a line of 1,600 hand tools made in America, guaranteed forever, present the point standings for the Busch Grand National Series. As you have a look there at results briefly, there's the top 5. And the points will still show Steve Grissom as the leader. David Green in second. Joe Nemechek third. Robert Presley fourth. And Ricky Craven moves up to 5th in the point standings. He was 6th coming into this race. Chuck Bound, Bobby Dotter, Hermie Sadler, Todd Bodine moves from 10th to 9th, and Tracy Leslie from 12th up to 10th. Ward Burton drops out of the top 10 after today's race. Bodine the winner, Craven second, Leslie third, Sprague fourth, David Green finished up in 5th today. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, I'm with that 5th place finisher, and David, a pretty good day there. Got real exciting at the end.
Yeah, I did. The Slim Jim Chevrolet ran awful good. You know, Bob Sr. came down this morning and suggested a gear change, and then the rain hit, so we kind of went back with what we qualified with and practiced with, and it really hurt me in the race. But, you know, got down there at the end with Steve, and, you know, it's going to be a tight point race all the way to the end. Seemed like all my other contenders had some problems, but Steve's always right there. But it was a good day for us, and come out here with a little bit of scratch here and there and going to Orange County.
Well, never having had a whole lot of luck at Dover, though, you got to feel good about coming away here gaining points on Steve.
Yeah, in the spring here, you know, I just never did feel comfortable, you know, and Bobby and I really sat down, and he taught me a lot of things about this racetrack this weekend, so it really helped, and, you know, I was glad we got to get it in today. But, you know, the Slim Jim Chevrolet and the crew did an excellent job. We changed good tires all day long, good pit stops, so we're pretty happy. Well,
a good job by the driver also, Mike.
It certainly was. Here's the way they finished up at Dover today. Todd Bodine, a runaway winner, 9 seconds. 0.7 seconds his margin of victory. Ricky Craven, Tracy Leslie, Jack Sprague, David Green. That's the front 5. Jimmy Spencer got Steve Grissom a couple laps from the finish. Phil Parsons, good top 10 run. Same for Mike Wallace. And Joe Bessie was 10th. He was on the lead lap today. as was Jeff Burton and Robert Presley in 12th. 1 lap back, Hermie Sadler. 2 laps down, Bobby Dotter and Tim Fedowa. 3 laps back, Richard Lassiter. Down 4 laps, Roy Payne. Randy McDonald was 5 in arrear, Steve Perry. Good debut run for Perry. He was 7 laps back. So was Tom Peck, the 20th place finisher. Shauna Robinson, Pat Davison, Chuck Bound, Joe Nemechek with damaged cars. Then Rodney Combs, whose engine locked up, sending him up toward the turn 3 wall. Terry Labonte, Tommy Houston, Rick Wilson, Larry Pearson, Ward Burton, the 30th finisher. Nathan Butke, Bobby Hamilton, Larry Carroll, and Harry Gant is the way they finished here at Dover. Let's go down to Randy Pemberton.
Jack Sprague, great run.
Well, I tell you, I don't know where to start. I got a lot of people to thank. My car owner, Bill Baumgartner. I got the best car owner in the world. Staff America, Cabarrus Chiropractic Clinic, Davis Transfer Trucking. I had a shot. I thought I had a shot at winning that thing, and I was seeing the checker flag, and I was driving my butt off and just got in the fence there, running second, trying to go for the lead, coming off 4 a little bit, and damaged the chances of winning. But we come on with a top 5 finish, and this team's come a long way in the last 6 weeks. We got Steve Bird as the crew chief, and the rest. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year and next year. There's been a lot of rumors flying around. I think I've been fired 3 times this weekend, but maybe this will shut everybody up.
You've got a shot. You guys got a shot to win. You got a few races left yet.
Yeah, we do. We've been running real good. We just been breaking, and today we didn't break. And finishing 4th my fault. We would have finished at least 2nd for sure. Maybe could have held Todd off, but if I don't try, I'm not a driver, so I had to go for it.
All right.
Good run for Jack Sprague today. Well, tomorrow, Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Bodine, and Mark Martin are the front 5 for the Splitfire Spark Plug 500. Neil, buddy, what do we look for tomorrow?
Oh, boy. As they say, you ain't seen nothing yet.
500 laps around this place, anything could happen. It usually does, Mike. It's going to be a good race.
That's for sure. Well, Mark Martin has been hot of late. Rusty Wallace broke his string. Dale Earnhardt has the point lead. Any picks for tomorrow?
Yeah, somebody's going to win, I guarantee you.
Oh, Mr. Lay It All on the Line Baker will be with us tomorrow. So will Neil Bonnet, Randy Pemberton, and Glenn Jarrett. I'm Mike Joy. Hope you've enjoyed, and we appreciate your staying with us this long afternoon. But looking at that finish, you've got to admit it was worth the wait. Todd Bodine picks up his 7th career victory, his 3rd here at Dover. Ricky Craven slides across the line to beat Tracy Leslie by a foot or so for 2nd. Just all part of racing here at Dover Downs. We'll see you tomorrow with the Splitfire Spark Plug 500. So long from Dover.